Welcome everyone to SRW TV's coverage tonight of round one for our second super show of the week for our season 3, which is going to be super awesome. We're starting tonight with the SR8s versus the SR10s with the Radicals, and then we are coming to you from Spa, and then we're going on to the GT3 Porsche Cup as well after that. And we are going to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Hopefully I've said that properly. And I'm coming to you tonight with my very illustrious co-host and host tonight with Tyson McAvoy and our illustrious producer tonight, Nathan Shippy Howard. Say hello, boys. How are we tonight?
Yeah, mate, I'm excellent. How are you?
Very good, mate. What do you feel about tonight's racing?
Well,
what are you
if
feeling?
It's going to be as good as last night. You know, I was involved with the first race last night, and the battle was intense the entire race. So these boys, looking at the lap times we got up there at the moment, you know, a bit of scattered here, but again, these are very brand new cars, these SR10s, and it's a good looking car. It's got speed, I think 30 kilometers difference between the two different cars. So it's going to be take a couple of races for these guys to really get involved and get used to them.
Yeah, I think there's some guys that are really used to the SR8s and stuck in the SR8s, and some of these guys have branched into the SR10 now and had a bit of practice in there. There's been a bit of talk that they might be a bit, the SR10s might be a bit quicker down the straights, but it should be really interesting for this race tonight. Thank you very much to our sponsors, and brought to you by our major sponsor, DSL Welding Services. Also, a massive shout out to our new partners, Pagny and Advanced Simulations, and our promo department as well. Thank you very much for all your support and all your love out there. So it should be really cool to see the action. This is our second super show tonight. So we had our first one last night. So tonight should be a lot of S&Gs, if you know what I mean. Shiz and giggles, if you know what I mean. Tyson.
So it should be definitely an interesting race, like Spa and these cars, downforce and like a Formula One style circuit. It's going to be pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing these boys, you know, rip it out and just put on a good show. We've got a good 15 car field, I think, and it should be quite interesting.
Yeah. So do you think there'll be some overlapping towards the end of this race as well, and you see these SR10s having to deal with the SR8s coming through the back of the traffic, or do you don't think it'll get that way? Do you think everybody will stay on the lead lap?
It's going to be quite close, I think, especially opening laps. We might have an early yellow and see the safety car out, but mid-race, like we've got an hour race here. The boys are just out there doing some qualifying at the moment, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this race pans out. We've seen last season, I raced in the Radicals last season, and the racing was pretty intense, and it stretched out. You'd have, you know, a few guys at the front battling, and then you had those guys in the middle. Now we're shaking it up, and we've chucked in these, you know, brand new Radicals to iRacing, and it's going to be quite the difference in speed, but also just seeing how fast these guys are going to be compared to the old ones, and see if those old cars as well, how fast they're going to be to the front runners.
Yeah. Have you spent much time in the SR10 yet? Can you give us a bit of a play for comparison?
So I did some laps this afternoon with a few of the boys that are in the session at the moment, and I ended up doing a 1 minute 10.4 around here, and as we can see, the fastest lap at the moment, it's a 2 minute 10.4, and the fastest out there is a 2 minute 10.9. So
quick round Spa, no matter what you're in, that is quick round Spa.
And it was a lot of fun. We tested the difference in speed, as you said before. It was a 30 kilometer difference down the front straight. I had a gap to Cowie, which was 4 seconds, and as I come up a Rouge, I caught him 2 seconds.
So really, 2 seconds through Eau Rouge and then go through Rivage as well.
The straight. Hey. It's going to be quite interesting to see the speed difference. So it was. I really enjoyed it and had a test, and it was good to feel the car, the downforce. It had a little bit of understeer, especially with the fixed setup, but it was a lot of fun to drive this car.
Oh, wow, that's cool. And they look a lot more sleeker. They look like they got a lot more sort of adjustable downforce on the new SR10 versus the SR8. The SR8 has just basically that front splitter that's not adjustable at all, and then that's just got the dual adjustable rear splitter. So, yeah.
And if
I'm
you
not
look
sure
at
about
the dashboard as well, it's got a cute little dash there, and it's showcasing the car, and the actual steering wheel as well. You know, it's got a new LED compared to the old car where it was a very bland, and there were actually the old cars on the right hand side and this car's on the left. So you know, two different
Interesting.
variant cars.
I
Of
thought it was
the
very
time.
interesting that they didn't put the seat in the middle, because it's not the car that you're like, oh, would you like to go and buy some milk, love?
Yes.
Why do you need a passenger seat in it, really? You know?
Well, you go for a race and you just take your mate with you and
Yeah.
scare the daylights out of him. I guess that could be
It's not
fun.
like you need a co-pilot. It's not like you're gonna rally that thing, is it?
That's right. And also, while we're starting here with Quali, just a big shout out to all our viewers. I know we got a viewer from America watching this race, and hopefully to see him out in doing some laps as well. So big shout out to you, Johnny.
Good to see. Good to see. Good to see some international viewers as well, and hopefully tell all your mates in the old US of A as well, and tell all your mates and get the name out. There's Sim Racing World TV, and that's awesome to have some international viewers also, and everybody out there following all the action. And make sure you try and get in there as well, guys. You know where to go: simracingworld.com.au. Jump in, register, jump into our series, jump into some practice, jump into our series, and get amongst it.
All the skill levels here, and you know we got some aliens, a fair bit of middles, and then some guys that are just learning, and you know eventually those guys become the aliens, the ones that are learning. So you know, it's definitely welcome everybody. But let's start talking about these qualifying times these boys are putting out
Oh
there.
yeah, true. We've just been rabbiting on, haven't we?
That's right.
They're just very, very impressive times.
And there's obviously going to be a few guys as well that might not take to qualifying, like we saw last season with Scott. He used to like starting from the back and having a race because he's very quick in these cars.
True. He is, but may he change up his bit of? May he change it up a bit now? He knows that he's in the SR8 versus the SR10. So
is he in the SR10? Which car is he in?
He's in the SR8. He's in the SR8, as we're seeing right now on screen. So he hasn't changed that livery. He's still got that Washby. He still that's what that 3 seasons. His third season. He still hasn't washed that car. So good on him. I like it.
So he's pretty dedicated to that car, and the car has nice purple lines on the side, and I'm looking forward to seeing him, you know, from a third party view, sitting here in the comm box and calling some of the races, and not actually out there battling him and you know trying to keep him behind me. So
yeah, true, and it'll be interesting to see how Scotty and people like
look at the
Scotty and
difference
Dave
in speed.
Unger.
Oh.
Difference in speed's insane, isn't it? But is the SR8 a bit better in the corners, or is it just the SR10 is just all over, just a little bit better in every way?
Well, that's what we also tested as well. We thought, like, from my judgment, I felt like Cowie was a bit stronger in the midsection, like coming out of No Name and down there. And then when I got into the power where you could go full throttle in the car, it was, yeah, the difference come back to the 10. But it was very understeery, so I'm not sure if the 8 can, you know, handle those corners a lot better than the 10. But obviously the difference in power, it's got a big turbocharger and it's a beast of a car.
Yeah, the SR10 seems to have a lot more launch and grip out of the corners. The drivers in the SR10 seem to have a lot more, confidence on exit of the corners.
But yeah, we should have made it a handicap where they start a lap down or half a lap down and they got to chase the 8s. That would have been
that. Scotty
awesome.
Callahan in the SR8 is just behind Adam Simpson there. And he's only, you know, his best time, he's only 3/10. He's only really 3/10 behind. So it's could get interesting, you know, especially with safety cars.
I'm looking forward to seeing Scotty out there as well. He's normally a left-hand driver. You know, he likes to turn left only. So this many corners, it might confuse him, but he's out there tonight and he's done a 2-minute 11.36. So that's putting him in third. So we've got a few familiar names out there as the checker flags come out, and there's a few guys just finishing up their qualifying laps. But I'm seeing a lot of purple. Do you notice that?
Scotty Rankin's just He's just nailed a 210.83, mate. Wow, hey. And Tom Curry has done a 210.5, which is just insane, man. These guys. Wow, I didn't think these things can get around here that quick, but I suppose I thought the undulations and stuff like that would actually put a bit more of a spanner in the works with these cars, but it doesn't seem to. I suppose it's a very open track, lots of downforce. I suppose it just push it on, eh?
That's right.
Probably
A short circuit probably would affect those cars a little bit differently because they wouldn't be able to get on the power and use or the speed. But at a track like this, it really helped those cars. But it's good to see a few good numbers here and a few familiar faces as well. We got Andrew Cowie out there in P7. He's having a crack this season.
Awesome, mate.
It's
So
the first
good.
time in the Radicals, so
So good. It's great to see him back out in the Radical. He was out in first season 1, wasn't he? Cowie.
yeah, and he loved it, and
Originally,
then he
so-
gave me the hand on the wheel, and then I've returned to serve, and I think hopefully he puts on a show tonight.
I'm sure he will, mate. I'm sure he will. Hopefully, we just won't talk about him too much, so we don't put pressure on him, or we don't give him curse to the commentator. So, even if we do, like, sometimes cut to Cowie, we might even not talk about Cowie just because we don't want to curse him too much. Just let him have his run. Who knows?
Well, how many Sinkovic's have we got any tonight?
Oh yeah, Spinovich. Huh? Oh, that's what they were last night. Spinovich was last night. Wow, hey. But it was a very hard track on those cars, so in the F3s especially. So we can forgive everybody, but they've got a lot on their table, so it's really awesome to see him out on track. And no matter how many times they spin, they still seem to be faster than me. So yeah. I'm still technically a rookie, so I'll use that to my advantage.
Yeah, that sounds like a good excuse.
Yeah. Oh no! I'm not bad in the Radicals. I'm getting better in the Radicals. I just prefer my GT3s and GT4s and TCR.
I'm good at parking the Radical in the garage. That's about it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Nah, you're faster than anything, but yeah, put your hands and feet on, Tyson.
Yeah, I've got a new direct drive wheel, so I rather, be testing it out, and it's been a lot of fun. I found a lot of pace last season. I lost a lot of pace last season, but anyway, I'll hand it over to you while we got the grid there, and take away.
Good. Thank you very much. So we have in first place there, we got Tom Curry there with 210.5, followed by Scotty Rankin, Rattlegun Rankin. Oh, I just got to do the Rattlegun sound. I'm really bad at it, and he always gives me shit about it, but that's all right. So he's there with a 210.83, followed by Adam Simpson, all in the SR10s there with a 210.98. Followed by Scotty Callahan. Scotty Callahan in the SR8 there in a 211.24. That's only 0.3 outside of the best time from Adam Simpson in the SR10. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether he can take the force of these guys or within racecraft. And I suppose with slipstream, etc., he's going to be able to they're going to be able to take it away from him, I suppose. Bruce White with a great drive last night. He's up in fifth, qualified in fifth place there with a 211.99. Leon Williams in sixth, Bradley Hudson in seventh, Stephen Sinkovich in eighth, Wayne Edwards in ninth there, and Dave Unger in 10th, along with and Matthew Boylett wrapping out 11 places there. So it seems we shall be going to a start soon. It should be a very exciting race. It'd be very interesting to see with this first round that we have the combined SR8s and SR10s being brought into iRacing. So should be quite cool. Hey, Tyson.
Yes, we got a pretty good grid here, as you said. Like a lot of drivers. We got our two safety car drivers. So Jamie Dyke out there in the safety car. Hopefully we won't see him tonight, but it might spice it up. But as you said, this is going to be an interesting start with a scattered grid. So I think we're combining them, but as we're about to get ready to go, the lights are on.
Here we go. SR8.
Gold tires are rouge. Let's go.
Green flag, green flag, green flag. Great start from the SR8 in the background there. Who's that? That's Dave Unger with a great start. He's spent well over 10 years in these cars, so he's got a great start there, but then had to just get off the gas and into the entry of Eau Rouge up through Rivage there. As these cars come down through the start, Tom Cowrie keeping his first position, but Dave Unger trying to stave off the competition here, Tyson. Wow, what a start. Everyone kept it quite clean.
Yeah, it was a great start there by the few boys, especially with the scattered grid there. We had a few cars out of position, as we can see. Cowrie was 3 wide on the back straight, and there was one of those SR10s trying to get through as well, making it 4 wide. But as we see a car in the background there, I'm not sure who went up there. But, oh, what a start. Clean start. We got one car in the sand pit. We'll try and get onto that. But, wow, a lot of power.
These guys it seems to be one of those tracks as well. Everybody kind of has spent a bit of time around, no matter what car they've been in, etc., etc., etc. So it's just been one of those, it's one of those ones that you will see some pretty out there passes, I think, or maybe some out there moves that they might be able to try and make, just because they're a bit more confident around the track. What do you reckon, Tyson?
Yeah, this track is punishment central with off track, so you get the 0x, the 1x for running a bit wide and touching the curbs. So it's a bit hard, especially on the opening laps, where these tyres create a lot of understeer because they're cold. So when those tyres start to warm up, but the confidence of these guys, we see Scotty G at the back here having a push and having a battle for position 10, and it's just going to take a few of these guys to get a confidence again. This is only round 1, and it takes a while for the boys to especially learn the car and then get the confidence to push. Oh, as we see contact there on the exit of the second last corner.
Oh, through the bus stop chicane, very, very hard to go through there. And even single files trying to just get yourself through there, trying to go through double file or trying to make a move through there as well. It's definitely one of those spots through the bus stop chicane. It's hard to be able to...
too wide for a Rouge. Oh, Cowie's going to hold it. Oh, but he gets through there. I'm not sure who's on the outside there, but well done to Cowie there. He sent it there for 2 wide and he got the job done. Oh, well done. And these boys are new drivers to the series. This battle here, they're packed. So he's definitely sent Alex Johns one out of a new job as he goes down the inside again of Cowie. Cowie's going to hold down for the next corner, gets the over and under. Oh, there's a little bit of contact.
Oh, a bit of wheel rubbing there on the outside. Who's going to be able to make this?
Lap 2 of these boys are going hard. Out of 5 minutes in, we've got an hour-long race, but these boys have said, nah, let's race. Straight off the bat. Yeah. No teamwork.
And they're just pushing hard as well. It seems the most popular car's been the SR8, definitely. By a long way here. These guys in the SR10s are pushing ahead, but they don't seem to be getting that much of a gap, to be honest.
Yeah, the gap isn't as big as I thought, but once these boys start settling into their rhythm, the fuel burn, I'm not sure the difference between that, so it'll be interesting to see who pits from what battle packs, especially from the front runners in the V10s. And as you see, the draft here will be pretty powerful in the back straight, coming towards the bus stop. And I think we're looking at Scotty here taking a shot at Cowie. So he's seeing how Cowie defends this.
Is he going to be able to make the move made? Oh.
We know Scotty's pretty good under the brakes here, so he's going to go down the inside. Nope, he sits behind. Cowie goes deep under brakes, but still pulls it up. Well done.
Oh, well done, Cowie. That's some well defending. He had to go wide there, but it seems like Scotty Callahan's gotten the better exit out of that corner there. So we'll have to see how this works down into turn 1. Beautiful move. Looks like Cowie's giving a bit of room there as well.
That's right. These guys got to pick their battles and choose, and I think Cowie's just chose to sit behind him and follow him and use that speed as we switch to the front runners of the... This is a good battle here.
Yeah, and SR10s. So Adam Simpson's keeping his first place there. Tom,
The-
up 4 spots from your
These
starting.
cars, I've noticed straight away when we switch to the camera, they're not as loud. So the
No,
other
they're not,
cars are very
they're not.
loud. These are very quiet. They're turbocharged engines, and you can hear that whistle. Once we ride on board with one of these cars, you can hear the sound of the turbocharged. It's one of my favourite things to listen to when you're driving with these cars.
And we just set a. That's a Ford EcoBoost engine, 2.4 litre, which is very, very different to what the SR8s are, because essentially SR8s were just essentially engineered to be put together 2 Hayabusa engines, making it a V8. So it's a much different engine, with the SR10 being the 4-cylinder versus the 8-cylinder, essentially. But essentially the same sort of literage. So, you know, it'd be very, very interesting to see the engine size side by side and see how big they are, essentially. And it's probably got about the same amount of displacement, etc., but just bigger turbo. Or a turbo, I should say.
Yeah, the turbo just rips it up and makes it sound good and gives it that extra speed down the straights where you can get that acceleration in the lower gears
and especially in those higher gears as well, you know, that extra bit of turbo boost in those higher gears once you're in full boost. Especially that's why we're probably seeing that extra 30 kilometers down the straight as well. They're getting that extra boost at the start of the straight when they're coming on to boost, and then they're getting that extra boost when they're on full boost and they're at full temperature. So yeah,
and then those tyres warm up, as you said, and the grip comes and it just makes the car even stronger. That's what's so good about this car. It has so many different things that you have to be patient about. You can't push early because you will lose the rear, as we've seen last season, and these guys are set into a rhythm. Scotty's doing the same thing there back in the purple car. He's slowly coming forwards the front and putting his attack on. As we see the battle at the front for the S10s, they're getting pretty strong. So, but it's hard to watch both battles because we got battles everywhere with a nice, decent grid and a good turnout for us around 1.
Yeah, it's been really, really awesome. Apologies earlier, guys. I think when I was announcing the grid, my SDK had gone a bit funny, so apologies for that. Okay, just having a couple of technical issues, but that's all good, guys. We've still got the racing. We're still going hard. These SR8s, I still love the sound of the SR8. I still love the SR8 than the SR10. I just from my I know I probably shouldn't say my personal opinion when I say it, but I haven't spent much time driving the SR10. I do have the SR10. Spent a little bit of time, and I'm like, man, they're just not fun. I don't feel like they're as fun as the SR8. So, and I like the sound, etc. You know.
Today was the first time I've driven that car since it was released. I bought it when it was released, and I didn't drive it because I just didn't think I felt the same as you. It just wasn't as fun as what the original Radical was. It felt, you know, different, but the speed was good. But overall, I enjoyed it, which was awesome. So, but and then drove it today, and the difference in the speed and comparing it with the other guys. But these boys, they're front runners. They're not getting away. It's
100%. Dave Unger, I think, is out there. Dave Unger was one of the biggest guys that fought to make sure that we got the SR8s, and Scott Callahan make sure we kept the SR8s for this season as well. And I know that I think Dave Unger is out there to prove a point that these things can keep up the SR8s. And I think one of his biggest missions, and a couple of these boys' biggest missions, to try and beat a couple of these SR10s this season. So I think the challenge is on here. Make it really interesting.
These boys are doing 2 minute 13 lap times, and you know that's not too far off the front runners. But obviously the difference in the speed and then the battling comes into play. But these guys,
but they're sticking together as well. Those SR10s as well. In race, it's different, I think, because they can stick together a little bit more.
Yep, and use that drive to keep that top speed up. And you know we've got a 4-car battle here, and you know it's a nice little train. And you can't blame the DRS for the train because there is none. So
yeah, 100%. And I think I've found under aero wash, under braking, those sort of things with the SR10 is much easier to control. Also, so I think the SR8 boys have got a lot more to contend with to wrestle this thing around the track versus the SR10.
I think the wing on as well is a bit wider and thicker on these cars here, and once you see the other cars, it's a bit thinner, smaller, lower to the ground, so it can go through that air a lot better. As I said, when I drove it, it had a little bit of understeer on entry, but it powered through the corner with the speed, so it was a very well balanced car. So well done to the designers of that. And it was, you know, a car I didn't really want to drive, but I enjoyed driving it. You know, I'm pretty sure if I wasn't in the com box, I'd be out on the track right now having a race. So.
Oh yeah, definitely you will be. If you're not in a com box or race control, you're definitely out on track. So
that's right.
We know that for a fact, definitely, Thurs. As we come down through Blanchimont, what a camera view, right on the front splitter of Nathan Verney here. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's like sitting on the top of his shoulder, just, you know, spying, watching him drive, and these, you know, all the wheel work that he's going in that you see on the screen is actually the wheel work he's doing as well at home on the sim. So it's not hard. It's not an easy job out there, especially with this big Radical, with all the rear grip that you have and there's no front end. So.
Oh, definitely, and the blips on down change, etc., as well makes things very interesting, doesn't it?
Ooh, look at me go, got a pass for the lead here.
Wow,
as
here
you
we
can
go.
see the slipstream. Speaking of the slipstream, up the
Come on,
the inside.
Tommy.
Ooh, wow, late on the brakes.
Oh, but Adam was even later on the brakes. That was crazy.
And he holds his P1, so well done to Adam there.
I can't believe Scotty's. I can't believe Scotty knows how to. Scotty's sitting there in third there. I can't believe he knows how to turn right. Actually, to be honest.
Yeah, he's an Indycar driver, and he likes to drive left, as you said. So see him in something different. It's good to see. I'm glad he's out there having a crack at something different. Well, we've had a few passes here as we were watching the other guys.
Mr.
Alex John. Yep, he's done the old sneak and got past these guys at this pack, so we're just going to get a replay of that. As he pulls out in the draft there. He's 100% committing to the corner.
Well under brakes,
all the way to the right. Oh, he brakes just after the white line there, the DRS line, and uses all the grip that he's got to get the corner in. Well done. That's a great pass.
Oh, and he's accelerated on the exit as well. That takes a bit of cojones as well. If you're making that pass through there and to be committed on the gas on the exit, especially in that car.
Relying on the downforce.
Wobbly through there.
But yes, we can see a little bit of damage in the car in front here. Of the rear, it must have had a little bit of contact, but and the only thing is with these old school cars, you make a little bit of contact, sometimes you get the big old meatball flag, so hopefully there's not too much damage to him. He's still in the pack and he's in P6, Dave, so hopefully gets the I think we got 2 fast repairs for the boys tonight, so yeah, I think it caught up in this and they can get that repair. As we see Cowie go down the inside.
Oh, everyone's having a bit of trouble under these. I suppose it's a little bit overcast, isn't it? It shouldn't be too hard to get these things. But definitely turn one. Oh, Adam Simpson. Oh, off on the inside, just avoiding that. It looks like there's a bit of contact on the inside, on the outside there.
Yeah, that's definitely going to have to be a redress there because a bit of contact ran him off the road, but. We got the 2 boys in race control looking probably into investigating that for the lead as we got battles everywhere. As we hear Adam going on the
brakes coming into there as well, so yeah, you can kind of forgive it a little bit because it's a bit hard, but making the move, Bradley Hudson, as he saw last night with the great drive in the F3, he's trying to make the move now on Cowie. Is Cowie going to be able to hold it there in the Toyo Sim Cowie music car? For the Senate Sim Sports.
It's a bomb and sim racing.
Wow, way. With the team boss in the...
Yeah, you're sitting with the team box.
Wow, way. There's not a bigger ball you can drop, I reckon.
Yeah.
Wow, wait. Sorry, I've got the other names right, though. I've shouted out sponsors. She'll be right. Anyway, back to racing. Anyway, Dave, in the back there, and Scotty Callahan. just putting the pressure on here. He's made the move on Dave Unger. It seems like Dave Unger on the straights, that bit of damage on the back of his car is really, really...
As we see, the car in front runs a bit wide. He misses the apex there, so Scotty's definitely going to get the advantage in the braking zone. He's going to look. Nah, he just holds off. But he is very
Alex
strong.
John got in front of Scotty there, and Alex John is up currently 12 positions from his starting position, mate. That's insanity.
Scotty has turned the tyres on because he's coming to life now. As you see, he's really on the back of the tail here. And it's going to be interesting as he keeps putting the nose down and saying, look, I'm here. And the car in front keeps missing those apex. And we know what Scotty's like. He will take advantage of that. And let's see him down the back straight.
Look at that.
Scotty's going to have the run.
Up through a rouge. That's where you can really get a lot of gains. You can get at least 6/10 up through there if you nail it.
Yeah, but if you make the move too early, you can always get the secondary draft and break down the inside. But Scotty's gone around the outside. And as we see, yep, he's gone back in the brakes, and well done. That's a good braking there. Good battle here for the... is this the lead, I think, for
This is the lead for the SR8s. Yes, this is the lead for the SR8s. So we're seeing some amazing battles here. Alex John up 12 spots already. Just had an annihilating start and just kept his nose clean as he went through everything, and obviously had the pace. Do you think it was one of those strategic not qualifying and just trying to see how it went for round one? Scotty, beautiful move. And
Scotty gets the job done there. Well done, Scott. Yeah, I think that's just what it's about. He loves to race and have fun, and that's what it's about. You know, there's nothing better than making passes, and you know, it's a bit boring when you drive around by yourself. And Scotty wants to race, so that was a clean move there, and he moves up into P1.
Beautiful, beautiful move there. Oh yeah, big shout out for Scotty Callahan as well for making sure he kept the SR8s on board with us with SRW TV as well. There was talks of us just going straight to the SR10s, but Scotty Callahan was...
Yeah, we were going to drop the Radicals completely, but he said, nah, I want to keep racing them. Let's keep pushing.
Yeah, and then Dave Unger got on board as well. Dave Unger was like, oh, yeah, definitely. But Scotty, big shout out to Scotty. Scotty kept this alive, and that's why I think he still hasn't washed his car, because he's just stoked, because he just got there with a dirty car, apparently.
So as we hear on the radio, Scotty's probably about to be handed the lead because a redress is going to be made for the front guys, because Adam was pushed off as we saw live. So a redress is going to be ordered, and that redress is taking place now as we see Adam a bit far back, but Scotty Rankid is now our leader of the race.
Wow, hey. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Look at that. Scotty Rankin. Scotty Rattlegun Rankin. He loves it. He denies that he's called Rattlegun Rankin, but he loves a bit of rattlegun, so we all know he loves to turn left, but it's very impressive that he can turn right as well. So he's proving us all wrong. Oh, and a big moment from Cowie there. Oh no, Cowie.
He's got damage.
Contact?
He has damage. Looks like it's going to be a self spin. He's just taken into turn too early, and he's just gone smack right into the wall. So he's going to have to make one of his stops early. But I think the boys said they might be able to take their fuel on early. So this, might not put Cowie out of the race, but it's definitely going to drop him back a few spots.
It's just too... Oh, he's copped it on the inside, yeah, and then he just hasn't been able to recover it.
Yeah, he's turned in a bit too early. But he also could have picked the car in the grip, but he turned in too early, corrected the steering, and around she went.
Yeah. And it is, yeah. Hey, are you sure that's not Cowie? Is that... Are you sure?
Oh, Scotty's...
Oh no, Scotty Rankin. He's hit the wall turning left even. What?
Yep, and that's what he's good at the most. So this is going to be interesting replay as we get the... he's got a look at the gap
earlier
too.
Turn right, he couldn't handle. Turn right first, and then turn left. Okay.
So he's going in.
Turn left that got him.
And he's taking the curb. Does he lose the rear on the exit?
Oh,
Yes.
Scotty, it was the turn left that got you. Sorry, bro.
He's done the
He's
right
never
thing
gonna
there.
let
He
me live
slammed
that
on the
down, is he?
brakes and he's waited and he's off again. He's
Yeah,
had no
beautiful.
damage from that, so that's good. But
That's very good. He's kept it off the wall there, so nice save. Nice caught it. But that is very, very unfortunate for him. Scotty out in the lead there. So Adam Simpson there.
yeah,
Has just
especially when he
dropped off
was
into
gifted
first
the
base.
lead. So he was gifted the lead and he's like, no, I don't want the lead. Here you go, Adam. It's yours.
Wow, and turning left as well, but I went, oh no! But it's so hard, that bus stop chicane, and it is one of those ones that if you can get the sweet point in your acceleration point on the exit of the bus stop chicane, you can get a couple of tenths there, at least 3-4 tenths there, at least if you nail it. But if you get it wrong, your car's kind of spinning around, so you're either nailing it or getting it wrong. Yeah, so it's one of those hard points. I suppose there's a lot of points like that on Spa, though, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right. And if you take a bit of the curb, it unsettles the car as well. So when you get on the power, the car might be in the air, and then its wheel spinning gets that a little bit, and it sends your side. So as we see the battle here with Dave Unger for P6 on track, P6 and 7.
Yeah, and it should be the top 3 here for our SR8s.
So what's happened to Scotty there?
Well, Scotty. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Scotty's dropped back down to 8, so something's happened there. We might try and hunt
Scotty
that down and get a
Callahan. I'm
replay.
getting confused between Scotty's. Yeah, Scotty Callahan's had a moment. Too busy about talking about Scotty Callahan there, but Scotty Rankin. Oh, the same spot as Scotty Rankin had a spin. So Scotty Rankin and Scotty Callahan had a spin at the same spot. Both in the lead too. Is it a bit sketchy, that bit on the track? You know,
so they can catch out the best drivers, and it might be a corner cut there, a slowdown. But yeah, he's just gone in there, grabbed the curb, and it's unsettled the rear, and he's just gone around. So
yeah, but both our leader from our SR10 and our SR8s, both did it in pretty much exactly that same spot. So maybe a little bit of early debris on the track there that might be spinning a bit tires on the outside, or everyone just getting a bit too overzealous on the exit. This is a nice little corner. If you get this, yeah, they are much quieter, aren't they? The SR10s. But I suppose the eco boost must be a bit quieter. Need to be more eco and stuff.
Yeah, well, I think that was the idea of it as well. I'm not sure the story behind the car. I didn't do too much research, but that was a reason why. You know, it was a very old school radical car, the original one. We had the 8, and you know they made this one. And, you know, nothing better than chucking a turbo in it and saying, send it and go race it. And, you know, as the boys at the front were doing. As we see, the front, I think Adam's now got a 4 tenths gap. So that gap's closed down. And Scotty's kind of fell off the pack there. He's 5 seconds away, so.
Yeah, we have Alex John. Seems to have had a recent crash there. Alex John was up 12 spots there, and he's dropped down 2 spots after a bit of an incident, it seems. But he was leading the SR8 there, and it just seems like he's just dropped down quite a bit. Yeah. It wasn't the same. Oh no, he's just taking it far too deep into the entry of the bus stop. Wow,
yeah,
the bus stop's really getting these guys today.
Yeah, and the tyre barrier there was in the race. We couldn't get the slowdown penalty and readdress, but it was just a bit unfortunate there.
But it's the safest way to do it, isn't it, Tyson? You're like, oh, I'm not going to make that. I'm going to go off to this side and save my car and so save everybody else's car, because some people will go straight ahead there where he's turned left. Some people will go straight ahead there, and that's the people you don't want to be racing with.
Yep, and he's taken the choice to come back on the track safely too, so yeah, well done to him.
Yeah. You see some nightmares there, even in real life racing. You see a lot of nightmares there of some pretty irresponsible decisions, put it that way.
Well, these boys are going deep, and he's just ran onto the dirt there, Tom, and he's I think that's a slowdown for the car in front, because he's definitely going a little bit slower, but now he's just pushed on Adam. in the Fishy Motorsport West End Motor Group car.
Seems like it's getting a bit more sketchy in the rear end though, that Adam Simpson's car at the 25-minute mark.
I think he was serving a slowdown definitely there because he ran a bit slow, and I think they both might have been because they did both run off the track. So. But again, as we said, it's good to see this is round one. Like last night, I know in the TCR race we had battles everywhere, and it was, you know, eyes on the front guys, eyes on the middle guys, and the same was in the F3. And then we're here again for the second night of our Super Show, as you said, and then we got the Radicals up first, and then, you know, after we finish here, we're off to, I think, Gilles Villeneuve, and you know, that's my favourite track, and we're going to have the Porsches there, so make sure we stick around. And everybody here, we just want to give you a shout out. Thanks for supporting SRW if you haven't already.
Challenge that track, just because of the curbs, etc. Your penalties, your 1Xs, etc., it's very hard to.
They've changed that. So 3 days ago they gave the update. Yep, 3 days ago they bring the update where it used to be. Gilles used to do that. It used to be the worst place to hit the curbs, but now they bring the update in.
And it's better. But last night,
now it's much better. Yeah, I attacked the curbs way better last night than I could have in the past. So it was much better to.
So I suppose with the F1, they seem to get away with a lot less, with a lot more.
But yeah, the off tracks were being reduced on the apexes, so you don't get the slowdown anymore on the back straight. And oop, as we see a car spin again at the last corner. We'll get a replay of that come up here. I think he's done probably the same thing as Scotty has, and he's just kissed the apex there nicely. He's on the curb. And you can see it already wanting to rotate. Yeah, there he goes.
There, so I can't seem to hear Tyson at the moment. Tyson, you there? Okay. Oh, apologies. Sorry.
But yeah, you just seem to get on the power. It seems like the power issue is getting on the throttle, and the boys are just rotating the car there. But Toddy, you got me, or you're still in?
No, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Perfect.
Could hear all cars, etc., etc. The only person I couldn't hear was you, which was very, very strange. But that's all right. We'll get back to racing. Mr. Leon
another car off
as
the
well.
front there. I wonder who that was.
Who's that one? That was Leon.
We'll just get a replay of that. It's another car off. Everyone's going off in the sandpit and giving our beautiful producer here a bit of trouble to look for all the action, because, as we said, it's everywhere. So, as we're having some problems in chat. I did say that last night too.
Yeah, we got a lot of spams going through.
Oh, he's locked up. He was going to make contact with the car in front, and he's as locked up. He had the eyes on, if you can see the eyes in front of that car there. He had his eyes on that move, and he couldn't pull it off and locks it up. Oh, yes. That was close. But again, he takes the safe option, takes it to the sandbox, and we'll come back on for another fight.
That car ahead definitely broke a lot earlier than probably needed to also.
Yeah, he wasn't probably expecting him to slow up as much, but as I'd love to see in Leon's, in the front of his car, you can just see the eyes poking out. That's a little cool feature I see there. There we go, that's a good shot. Look at little dragon eyes just sitting at the front there. He's like, imagine that in your mirror. Yep, he's coming for you.
Oh, okay, I get it now. Locked on racing. The eyes are locked on you. That's kind of cool.
Well, I didn't even put two and two together.
Cool. Me, though, I assume that's what it is, and if it is, that's pretty cool.
And if it isn't, well,
even better.
It is now.
Yeah, it is now. Yeah, yeah. We meant to do that, man. Yeah.
So I think Scotty's back in the lead of the eights as we've missed that pass. He's 4/10 in front as we see him on screen. He's now in front of David Unger. So also I think Cowie is a lap down now as well. So he must have had another incident. unless he's taking his pit stop. And
No, pick how he's taking his pit stop. So he's taking a pit stop. Maybe the underpass there, and just keeping his tyres right and keeping his fuel right and being sweet with it.
but you got to remember, he's
Alex
only
always
an
got a
average.
plan, so-
Yep, he's only an average sim racer, so he's not the best, as he says. But that's just him making excuses for him having a spin. And if you're listening to Mick Howie, yeah.
I love Cowie as well because he's a bit like me. He loves to be the underdog as well. It's nicer to be the underdog, especially in sim racing or any kind of form of racing. It's nice to be the underdog and not have people expect a lot of you, so that you can kind of surprise people sometimes. So,
That's right. And we saw him once on the podium last season in the Super 2 series. He could have had to win, but he made a mistake. And I'm bringing it up, yes, Cowie, because I know you've got a big smile on your face, having a giggle right now if you're listening to the broadcast. So, but yeah, he's one of those characters that just goes out there, has fun, same as all the boys basically on this grid. And that's why we got the Radicals back this season, because it was a struggled season last season, but we bring it back with the support of Scotty again. A big shout out to him. Without him supporting, saying, "Yep, I love these cars," and it was always awesome to race with you boys, we wouldn't have it here on our Super Show on a Thursday night.
100%. And to all you guys viewing out there, also massive shout out to all the support and all the love out there in Facebook and Twitch land and YouTube land. Thank you so much, guys. And if you're new to the channel, if you're out there watching a new channel, make sure you hit that new notification bell. Please give us a subscription, give us a like, subscribe on YouTube, give us some love, guys. And yeah, thank you very much for coming. Big shout out to DSL Welding Services, the Promo Department, and Pagnian Advanced Simulations also for all their support. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do it without the sponsors and, of course, our drivers and our followers. Without the followers, we're putting on a show and having a good time, and we hope you guys at home are enjoying it too. So you can see Tom as well out in front now. He's got a nice gap to the cars behind, 3.3.
Oh, and beautiful move.
With 32, I think, minutes into this race. So
serious pace. We knew we had some serious pace through practice. I jumped in practice a bit earlier. Tom had a lot of pace through practice, and I thought he kind of underqualified a little bit more than he probably should have, to be honest. So I think we'll see once he's really comfortable in this car and he gets, about this pace right now. I think he'll start to try and make this move on Adam Simpson now.
And we see Scotty's still sitting there. He's only a couple of seconds off the lead. And then Bruce White coming into the picture as well. He hasn't let this front pack go on. But I think we've got 4 cars. And then, yes, Scotty and P5 leading that second pack there. So
yeah, so Bruce White we were talking about in the F3s last night. He had the Tom and Jerry on his F3 car, etc. But
Bruce is
calling him Brucey the Shark, so he might be able to take it to the fishy boys. We were talking about sharks. We need a shark in this in the pond last season, and he might be the shark in the pond. I think
I think Scotty just had an off just then. We're going to flick to a replay. I did see him go off, but Bruce is also one of my my new drivers in my team. So we're just sorting him out of paint, and glad to him to come on board. But as you see, Scotty there just said, I want to go through this game and do some TikTok lawn mowing. So,
yeah.
And Scotty comes on the mic and says he's making excuses for his lockup. But, yeah, Bruce is, was in the Road Runner skin last night, had a good run in the F3s. And then out here again in the Radicals. So, good to see him out there.
His skin, I think you need to put a shark on there.
A shark on there? I'll put a shark on the side.
To try and old Brucey, fish your friends.
But, these boys have got fish, and we got the eyes on the locked on boys, and I put a shark on the performance car.
Nice, good stuff. And we got Brucey the shark, in Finding Nemo, Brucey's the big shark. That's why everyone's so cool on Brucey.
Yep, and the
Brucey, so we'll
fish
see.
are friends, they're not food.
Yeah, but I think on the racetrack they might be food with Brucey. So who knows?
But as we see, the gaps between
Systems at a moment. Oh no!
Nope, he's missed the apex there, but he's just lit it up. You see the other tire marks from the other cars, and around he goes.
Oh.
Yep, he's back around.
No way. It didn't look like he hit anything. It was just full track. It wasn't even like he hit curb, was it?
Yeah, it's unsettling the car there. Maybe not enough downforce for these cars. As I said, the power on acceleration is ridiculous. So I think we're back live here, unless we've got another replay of Cowie doing the same thing of some cutting the grass, getting some lawn mowing done. But he's sitting in P11 now, so... But I think he is one of the boys who have done his pit stop. So once everyone else has done one, as we literally speak of the devil, people are in the pit lane.
Here we go. All right, Alex John, Scotty Callahan, and Nathan Verney all just in the pit and exiting right now. So.
Yep, so those boys are taking that pit stop that we thought would be coming around the halfway mark. We're 36 minutes in, so that mark is now good. These boys probably won't take the tyres, I think. You know, the shorter the better. It takes a couple of extra seconds to do tyres. We tested it earlier as well in the test session with Cowie and stuff, and I thought it was, you know, I gave him the tip and said, you know, don't take tyres unless you get a 40-minute later safety car, and then you probably have an advantage. Apart from that, it won't make much difference.
Do you lose much time in warming up the tyres as well if you did do the said tyre change, or?
Yeah, but that's what I said to you. You can do it under safety car. You know, your tyres will warm up well enough. But if not, just untick them and go for gold. And he's in a good spot now. So if a safety car did come late, hopefully he does remember the strategy and whacks on a pair of boots at the end. But we've had some decent driving. We've only had a few self spins and a redress. Apart from that, race control, you know, they haven't had much to do tonight.
Yeah, it's probably because people are probably quite used to Spa as well. It's one of those ones that I suppose you learn quite early in any sort of style of sim racing or any sort of racing games. You kind of one of the tracks that you kind of learn first off, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very popular track, especially when you see Formula One racing there. But imagine if the supercars went there and raced. How much fun that would be to see those big supercars and all the load that would go through the tyres, through a Rouge, and that'd be something I'd like to see one day.
That would be mental. Them coming up that hill, mate. That would be insane. Up through a Rouge and stuff. Wow, that would just, yeah, it would be mental. I'm not sure if it should be sanctioned even in a V8 car through here. To be honest, might just launch over the top of the hill and just keep on going.
Yeah, there's some of those tracks that, you know, a lot of drivers would love to race their own, you know, league at, or what they race in real life. And I think a supercar would be good at, you know, this type of track. And even going to Monza. I think Monza would be another good track to see a supercar at in real life.
Edge, though.
Yeah, but that's what it was all good. We can sit back on the com box and laugh while they have the carnage.
That would be so awesome, seeing those V8 supercars at Monza. Wow, that would just be absolute carnage. But for us at the Cosmox, would be hilarious.
So you see Nathan here in the battle. I think we've still got battle for P7. Nathan's just sitting behind. I think he's going to wait for the toe on the back straight as he sits behind, because we know how powerful this driver is. As long as he gets through a Rouge nice and clean, as he kisses the apex, gets a beautiful run up the hill, and I think he's going to have the job done.
An absolutely beautiful move, and that was that's there for P8 by the looks of that. So it's just it's just taking P8 there. So that makes it Nathan Verney's up 7 positions from his
start. We got a position change as well. Scotty Rankin is now in P2, so he's decided to go up to P2 again in his 3.3 seconds. So those boys were up the front making a few mistakes, but as we still see these guys here having a cracker battle. Oh, look at the wheel work going there to get that car turned. Then they've got to kiss this apex here, use all the speed, not use too much runoff, because you use too much runoff like the car in front. You get that bloody dreaded 1X, and sometimes they even get the slowdown.
Oh, especially we've just ticked over to just over 2/3 of our race here, guys. So we've got 20 minutes to go here in this race. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how much these tyres fall off a bit of a cliff soon, I'm pretty sure.
But again, I see a few of our viewers watching around the world. If you're interested, big shout out to you guys. And you know, we're based in Australia at the moment. Hopefully, won't move anywhere. But if you're wanting to get involved in racing, you know, head to the website. The links are all in the chats and in the description on the YouTube. And come get involved if you're interested in racing all this stuff. We got heaps of stuff on board. As we said, we got the F3s. The Radicals, the TCRs, the Supercars, the Porsches, trucks on a Monday. Oh, what else? There's something else.
It's sprint
cars on a Tuesday, and you know we got everything. So if you're American, you love your dirt stuff. Like I love racing dirt, but I just don't have the time to race it. And then you know the NASCARs or the trucks on them. Oh, there's so much as we see. Oh, the lockup.
Bradley Hudson at the moment there.
But he gets it going.
He kept it, which is very, very just of him, which is good. You know, I love a good catch as long as you can actually catch it properly. There's nothing better. You're like, oh, I know that I was right on the edge there, but next lap I don't go to that edge quite as far.
So you see Wayne in the Kawamoo livery tonight. I think it is anyway. In P12, sitting comfortably at the back there, and Cowie's up back finally into P10 after a few of these boys are taking their pit stops. None of the front runners have done that yet, so but these guys might be able to go longer on their tanks.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, as we hear in the background, they are very quiet. Like, trust me, when you're like driving them and you know you turn your sound up a bit, they're not that quiet. And all you can hear is the whistle of the turbo as Cowie has a little moment there. But they are very, I wouldn't say a loud car, but you can definitely hear them.
But I suppose it was the whole, like, you know, F1 cars went from, what was it, the F12s to the V12s to the V10s, and they were screaming like nothing else, and then they went to, you know, and then it went to the hybrid era, and everyone kind of complained about the same thing. It was just kind of going that sort of slight eco boost or hybrid kind of thing. That's just what it does.
And it promoted good racing, and it was, you know, the cars were faster, quieter, which is what people apparently wanted. I don't agree with it, but
me either.
I reckon bring them back. Awesome. Yeah, for one weekend, it's not going to hurt. 1 weekend a year at different parts of the world, it's not going to hurt. It's what the fans want. And it's probably what the drivers want too, because
100%.
You know that's what it was. Motorsport back in the day, and it was loud pumping V8s. Then we went to the V10s, then the 12s, and it was just roaring sounds of engines, and that's what motorsport is.
Oh yeah, none of this. Like Miami, like Long Beach or whatever. You know, like Miami. That, you know, everyone was a big. Everyone didn't like that track and all that, but I think, you know, if you did a bit more work on that track and all that, a track like that with those old school cars would be so awesome. It would be a spectacle.
Nice and loud. You know, they were awesome when they went around at Singapore. You know, they would scream and pass in the night street, and you know, imagine that with supercars, V8 loud supercars, and the engine. Like,
yeah, and Singaporeans get so into it. Everybody gets so into it. Like, yeah, it'll be a massive party like it always is in Singapore.
And next year with hopefully the Mustang and the Camaro, the difference in those cars as well. The sound they have, the ability to turn, like, I can't remember what they do, but they can make it quieter or make it louder as well.
Oh,
so
really?
At Bathurst last year when they were displaying the car, they had the Mustang full loud. And they had the Camaro with I think it had heads on it or something, I'm not sure. and made it a bit quieter, like the ones that today. Everyone loved. You could hear the Mustang a mile away, and it was only one car. So imagine if they had 20, half the grid full of Mustangs and Camaros with the full cap. Oh, should be awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And these Radicals as well in real life are really, really loud. You got to really block your ears when 20 or so of them come past. I was at Eastern Creek Raceway and I got to see these cars live, and they're loud in the sim, and trust me, they're just as loud in real life as well.
Yeah, I saw. I only saw one on track at the time, but you can actually drive them down at Highlands Motorsport Park in New Zealand, in South Island. Not even one of them on the track. It's just insanely loud, man. And you're like, what the hell is that thing? I see
Was
it
that
coming,
Adam
you're like,
Simpson?
"Oh,
Adam Simpson's had a spin.
And it looks like Bruce White's had a bit of a spin before that also. Oh no.
So we're getting to that latter stage of that race as well, and then, we're starting to see a few mistakes. I'm not sure if these guys at the front have pitted,
I
because
think
I'm
these
seeing
tires are falling off
zeros.
the cliff, as I was saying earlier, I think.
But yeah, he's
Trying
just
to do
made
the
a
whole Doc
mistake
Hudson,
there.
isn't he? Right here.
But he's done a good job to save it there, because if he didn't have that
Yes.
full lock on, he probably is sliding into the wall.
100%. There's no coming back in that car. If you clip a wall here in that car coming down that hill, there's no coming back from that. Especially at this point of the race.
Shibby, have we got any information on the guys out front on their pit stops? Just trying to find out if these guys have pitted or not, because it's we're getting to 12 minutes to go in the race. This place is going quick, and the top three have not pitted. So Adam Simpson is our first R10 to pit, or SR10 to pit.
Wow.
And those top three have not pitted yet. So it's going to be quite an interesting finish here to see if maybe Scotty can, as we speak, I think Mr. White's gone into pit lane. But yeah, see how long Scotty can go.
Yeah.
As they trundle down pit lane.
Like, Bruce White had an earlier moment, so maybe he's pitted because of that, or he's just taken it because he might have a little bit of damage, and he's taken it because of that point of view. But who knows? Yeah,
and I was expecting these guys to be lapped earlier. Remember that conversation we had at the start? Well, they proved me wrong with the speed in these. They're only 1 minute and 11, I think Scotty Cal is, and 1 minute 11. So half the track distance and 50 odd minutes into the race. So that's pretty good that these guys are still holding out. We've only got one car a lap down at the moment.
Which is pretty insane. We haven't even seen any safety cars yet, which I thought we might see around here. But I suppose it's just coming into people's experience around this track, and also in these cars.
Well, that's right. It's a lot of runoff as well. There's heaps of sand pits out there. The only problem is the bus stop in Rouge. You got the bus stop, plenty of room, as we've seen a lot of mistakes there. But at Rouge, we haven't seen anyone make a major mistake. Not too wide or 3 wide through there, which is good. But this lap time, I reckon we're going to see Scotty come into pit lane.
I reckon. I think we might see Adam Simpson as well come in.
Yeah, as we see the boys trolling down. So we see Brett White in the pit lane again.
Oh.
Is he towed, or is he driven into the front? Bruce White, yeah. So, I just saw his name there, and
a crash, I think, possibly.
Because he's just dropping down the order, yep.
Wow, that's a long pit.
Yep, he's leaving the pit lane now.
And he had a penalty.
Yep, he's leaving the pit lane. He might have had a penalty on entry, so he might try and get a replay of that. Because the pit lane entry, as we saw, oh my god, that exit scared the shivers out of me. The entry is pretty hard to get into because it's on the right, so we're using the old school entry as well here. So, as we see, Scotty on the fuel save, he might think he can get to the end. Oh, ooh.
I reckon that's what. Ooh. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. That cliff is coming soon, and that cliff is here.
Well, maybe Scotty's just got his ear listening to the broadcast, and he heard his name and he got a little fright, maybe. But that might be not like Scotty. So yeah, the tyres could be falling off the cliff on these Radicals because they are very powerful. But
and plus, the SR10, it might be one of those things of how long have people actually had to drive them, and Has anybody actually pushed these Radical SR10s to the tyre cliff yet? Who
Well,
knows?
that's right. And a lot of these guys might not have done that mileage, as you said. And we know Scotty likes to race Indy cars. He's a very big-minded person on fuel strategy. So he might be playing that game, and as we hear him clutching and making those numbers. So we got
He is
10
just
minutes to go,
absolutely cruising.
just saving that fuel. So it'll be interesting to see if he can make it or not. Be quite close.
Look how smooth he's being. He's being super smooth. He's not over revving the car whatsoever. And for you guys out there in non-sim racing land, and you just like to race and things like that, see how he's not. See on his racing wheel, as you can see how his lights all light up and it'll go red. He's never letting it go red. He's not really even letting it go that green. He's actually short shifting at those yellow lights. He's not even letting it get or even orange half the time. And that is, being smooth, short shifting, making sure you're clutching in early, and that's how you're saving fuel and things like that. So that's where you can save 2 to 3 laps of fuel just by all these things. So if you're watching, IRL Motorsport also, and they're talking about fuel saving and things, this is the things that they're trying to do. Trying to be really smooth in the corners, brake a little bit earlier, not over rev the car, shift early.
That's right, and that is honestly the perfect example, explanation, sorry, of how you say fuel. So we do see Bruce again in the pit lane, so he's gone from a great result to an upside down result here. So bit of a shame. He was having a good run there, sitting in P5/4.
But he might have gone in there trying to fix it all, but then got penalties. I've had that opportunity. I've had that happen to me before. You go in there and you get a bunch of stuff, and then everything's just a chain reaction. Everything happens at once, and you're like, "Oh, cool. I think I fixed the car enough." And then you get out there, and one wheel's still kind of going off to the left, and it's just not quite right. So sometimes you have to jump back in, right? It doesn't.
Or you get that frustration where you get the poops and you make that mistake, and you got the damage, and when you're trying to push to get back to pit lane, you make that mistake on pit entry and make the unsafe entry or exit. We saw one of the boys in the TCR cars last night who was fighting for the win make a slight mistake on the exit.
Yeah.
Yep, he made a slight mistake on the exit, and as the race was good for me, it hurt his race immensely. He was going to be definitely up the front fighting for a win, and he ended up finishing 4th, I think, in that race. So just on the edge of the podium.
And that's a perfect example, right? It was probably 30 centimeters in it. Oh, probably, half a meter in it that he'd gone over the line. Probably a tire and a half had gone over that line. But that was just literally rush of blood to the head. I need to get out of this pit really quickly. And just not looking at the line. If you're not just for a split second not paying attention, that's what can happen, right? Cost you 40 seconds.
Yeah, and he was battling with me on the exit, and he's pushed a bit too much to try and get the drive, and he made that little mistake. Of course, he will come back and be better next time, and the same with Bruce here as well. But for the time, we got Scotty 6.7 seconds behind with 7 minutes to go, so I reckon we got about three laps of racing left. It's going to be quite close, this finish, as we see Adam Simpson here sitting in P3. He's about 50 seconds, I think, off the lead. 57 seconds off the lead as he went over the line last lap. So I think these boys at the front are doing the fuel saving, and Adams, just said, "Nah, I'm taking the fuel. I'm going to push."
Yeah, pushing on. Scotty Rankin did his pushing early. And really pushed on, but he's done a really good job to get back to that spot as well in second position. But Tom with a very impressive drive up 5 positions, and I think for my driver of the day for the SR8s and SR10s would have to be probably Alex John there, up 12 spots. I'm not sure if that was just him sandbagging and not qualifying, or whether it was just a very, very impressive drive. What's your thoughts, Tyson?
Well, definitely Scotty. In the 8s, he's doing what he does best. Starts at the back, has a good drive. He doesn't push people off the track. He's patient. He took probably 15 or so laps to actually get to the front, and then he made that mistake and had to push again. So yeah, definitely Scotty's my in the S8's definitely my driver so far. And then at the front runners, it's hard to say Scotty, but I'm going to go Adam just because Scotty's driving good.
Yeah, well, Scotty Callahan, I think for leading the SR8s there. He was only 3/10 behind in qualifying. He's only 3/10 behind in best lap in race pace as well. So that's great. Oh, Bradley Hudson having a bit of a lock up into the bus stop chicane there entry.
Didn't cost him too much. He, yeah, as you said, he locked up, lost the rear. But who's got the fastest lap at the moment? If we can try and get that as well, because.
So we got best.
Oh, Scotty again making a little mistake in the the last corner. Actually, I keep saying turn 1, but it's not turn 1.
8 from Tom.
So Tom out front is he's our fastest car on the track. He's done a 2:10. What was it? Sorry, 2:10.776. Oh,
very
he's
impressive.
out there pushing.
He's absolutely pushing hard. And that's probably in clean air as well, which is very impressive. You probably normally see race pace in these cars or on this track, around Spa, only really get to those kind of under the 211s in race pace, unless they have a bit of draft. But he's done that lap without draft there, so it's a very impressive run.
Yep, and we only got 4 minutes to go in this race, so it's going to be close. I'd love to know what Scotty and Tom's fuel levels are like, and if they're going to pit, and who's going to pit, because strategy, it's my favourite word when it comes to commentating, and it seems to this, a lot of guys doing a different thing. We see Adam at the back. Again, he's lost 51 seconds. Of course, he made that mistake, as we saw, but these two front runners are yet to pit, and if Scotty gets on the podium...
Rankin's just had a bit of a... It says he's had a crash there on this. Okay, that's very apologies.
Okay. Yeah, he probably ran a little bit wide. Because he's using a lot of the circuit to really push this car. And if Scotty does get a result here on the podium, we probably will never hear the end of it. But
are these SR10s using less gas than the SR8s as well? It seems like they must be with the eco.
Well, they're two different. Yeah, they're two different cars. So this is new for us on how these cars perform. So there might be a different change next week in the race to balance the fuel mileage out. I'm not sure. Maybe make it a two pit stop race for those SR10s. If it can be done, that'd be interesting. And bring Scotty back into play with making them do 2 stops, and the R8s do 1. It'll be definitely good to see.
And especially if the boys can stick with Scotty, then they'll be definitely in the profits there as well if that happened there. But as you can see, Alex John, he's up 12 spots, but he's sitting there well behind, just about 6 seconds behind Scotty Callahan there. So he's a big distance.
Scotty just come on the radio and asked the big question, because if you look at the timesheet, Scotty's closing that gap up beautifully, and Scotty said he's got enough fuel to get home. So, and Tom is not sure. So, look at the gap. It is close. 2 minutes to go. So we might see the white flag. Yeah, we're probably going to see the white flag next time by. This is going to be borderline.
Here we go. So Scotty's talking it up. Scotty's saying that he's got enough to go home, but Tom seems like he's a bit nervous about getting home. But Tom's got not that much of a buffer though, really, does he?
Yeah, that buffer was 10 seconds a few laps ago. So the fuel saving is really coming to this in the last, as I said, couple of laps. And as we're on board with Nathan,
by 10th.
He's chasing Cowie down for P8. Cowie's sitting P8 and he's charging along again. He's
Let's go, Cowie. Put those elbows out, mate. Come on, son.
Yeah, he's making the big return to this series.
Another part of our broadcast crew. Absolute legend and an awesome iRacer as well. Calls himself an average sim racer, but I don't know how average he is anymore. With you guys and in your team and everything, he's getting a lot better than he's an above average sim racer now, I believe.
That's what I keep saying, and he says, "Nope, I'm an average sim racer with $1 trillion sim rig."
yeah, exactly right. With the world's best sim rig. All the gear and some idea. Yeah, we'll say that.
Yeah, all the gear and some idea. And I think that's the white flag I just saw out there. So Cowie is what a move around the outside. Cowie holds him to 2 wide. They went 2 right through a rouge.
Both get a 1X.
Oh, Cowie's loving it. He gets on the microphone and says 2 wide through there. Oh, what a shot that was. Cowie sending it. Said, nope, you ain't getting P8 from me.
Cowie's going to be full late on the brakes too. Come on. He's got his cojones in his hands right now. Nice work, Cowie. Very well laid under brakes. Putting his elbows out against Nathan Burney here. What a beautiful drive. Is he going to be able to hold on here? What do you reckon?
It's going to be tight.
He's got it in it.
As we look at the leader now, Scotty's within a second, so we might have to cross back to Scotty because it's going to be on for him. There's a cow. This is the battle for P8, so we're going to keep an eye on that. But Scotty is closing that gap.
There's only 8 tenths in it. Oh, he's right on there. Wow, we wonder what's happening here. Scotty Reagan on the absolute charge, and Tom on the clutch. He is trying to save hard right now.
This draft, and Scotty's going to be in the draft down the straight, so he's going to have to get him under brakes here. Can Scotty do it? I'm going to say he can. He's got the craftsmanship to do it. He's got the racing ability, and let's see if he can get the draft here. He's going to get a clean exit.
Tom is seriously.
Oh, he uses all the road. Early. Uses all the road. Here we go, Scotty. As we see Cowie in the same predicament. This is what Scotty's got to do. He's got to really watch this battle here and do the exact same thing. He's going to run the defensive line, Cowie, and Scotty gets a job done.
Oh, Scotty's into
nice. Scotty's into the lead.
Is Tom running out of fuel there?
Tom is out of fuel. I can confirm Tom is out of fuel. So Scotty is into the lead.
Yes.
He's not even going to get there. Tom is not going to make it home. Scotty is going to win.
Going to the pits too.
Tom is not going to make it. Scotty is going to win his first race.
Tom gets over the line. Does he make it over the line? Yes, he does in time.
No, the finishing line's around the corner. Don't forget. The finishing line is around the corner. He's not going to finish. But a huge congratulations to Scott for winning the Radical race here, the opening round. And I was just going to say congratulations to Scott. Like he knew he had to save the fuel. We could hear it, and he was clutching it in. And he did a job. He brought it home to win, and he was clutching hard. And he actually Tom can't make it. Massive gap because of that. But you can see how easily that evaporates right at the end there, eh? That's right. I'm just going to quickly try and get these drivers in. I'm just going to jump into the race control and see if we can get them to drag them up for us. So I'll hand you over to Toddy. Lead as sir. So, for our results tonight, absolutely beautiful running tonight. So, Scotty Racken in first there with Adam Simpson slotting himself into the second spot there after, unfortunately, Tom Curry leading for most of the race there, ended up running out of gas there, probably about 200-300 meters away from the line. So if it would have been the old track, he would have made it over the line. But because it's the new line and not the old, because I've got the old pits and the new pits in Spa. He would have made it, but he didn't. So. I also want to make a note of Scotty Callahan in the R8 making it onto the bloody podium. And come on, son. He's up 12 spots. So if he had a qualified, as we can hear in the background, where would he have finished? So very well done there. It'd be very interesting to see whether the SR8 on some tracks can sit on the back of the SR10. Yeah, he's out of fuel as well, I think. What an absolute legend, though. Who's giving him a push behind him? That's Bruce White giving him a push. That's a teammate giving him a push home. What an absolute legend. Look at that for teamwork. I know we got the Commonwealth Games happening. It was opening ceremony tonight, so that's definitely in the Commonwealth Games Olympic spirit sort of styles, isn't it, guys? I didn't even know that was on. Yeah. Yeah, Commonwealth Games, Birmingham this year.
starts
I'm
tonight.
definitely happy to
Yeah.
get onto that. We got our P2 Adam Simpson in the green room and Scotty as well. So I'll bring up we'll bring up Adam first because he's sitting there, and then we'll get Scotty up as well, and then we'll bring up the grid as well once we get that up. But as you see, Cowie getting the push. We got to wait for Cowie to cross the line. Come on, you average. He's got 18 seconds, and then he'll be declared. I don't think he's going to make it.
I'll hand to
14
you for
seconds.
race interviews then, shall I, Tyson?
Well, I've got a dip, so you might have to take care. I'll do the first one. Actually, I'll do Scotty, and then because I've got a dip and get ready for race control.
Oh yeah, true. You do too. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, it looks like the race is going to be declared, and it looks like Cowie ain't going to finish.
Oh no, buddy. Do you reckon that was like you last night, just not listening to the crew chief? Or?
You had to bring that up,
sorry.
didn't you?
Sorry.
Well, there's our
It wasn't going
finishing
to come
roll.
out, but it just did. Sorry.
All right, I'll bring our drivers in. Short and sweet.
So everybody out there, make sure you we're going to go into the F3s straight after this race, as we're doing. Bear with us while we do all the changeover, etc. But we're doing interviews in the meantime. Make sure you stay tuned. Don't change that YouTube channel. Don't change that Facebook. Don't change that Twitch channel. Make sure you stay on. We are coming back to you guys with the GT3 Porsches as well, which is going to be awesome. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I'm horrible at saying that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just call it, Gillies.
Yeah, Gillies, the Circuit Canada. Yeah, that's good.
Right, well, let's bring in our P3, Scott. I'll drag him in now. Well, Scotty, P3, did you expect that tonight?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't at all, especially giving them a head start.
Yeah, you gave him a huge head start at the there, mate, and wow, what did you
If
think
I
of the
hadn't
difference?
done that and the guys actually had to pit for more fuel, then I reckon I definitely would have got Adam.
Oh, you would have been definitely in there. Even if you qualified, you might have been in there with a crack. That's right. I made that note as well. That's how you like to race and drive, and you definitely, you started at the back. You're up 12 spots, and every single pass you made was clean. You had a little bit of a spin, but that wasn't going to stop you from pushing through to a podium. So congratulations.
Yeah,
mate.
that's just coming out of the toe, though. It's so difficult when you come out of the toe. You've got to be very careful for a couple of laps. Yeah, because everything's different, and I don't know, something in iRacing just makes the car behave differently.
Well, anyway, that was a good drive for you, mate. Again, a big congratulations for the P3. Anybody out there you want to thank?
No, just me and Dave Unger for inviting me over and bring on a short track so I can really hand it to them. No,
that's right. But
and
before you leave,
fuel loads. No.
Yeah, make them stop twice. That's what I said, and then you can have a real crack.
Well, at least stop once. I mean, what, they start with 70 odd litres and we start with 40.
A bit of a difference.
A little bit of a difference, yeah. But anyway, it's all fun. I'll get them on one of the tracks.
Oh, I know you will. And just before you leave, mate, I just want to say a big thanks for pushing the message to keep this Radical series going. And we wouldn't have been able to do it without you, mate. So
it's a great car and a great series and a great bunch of guys. So as soon as the word gets out there and people actually start racing, it'll take off even more.
Excellent. Well, again, congratulations on your win in your class and the P3 overall.
Brilliant work, mate.
Alrighty, we'll bring our P2 sitter in here, Adam. And I'll let you take this one over while I get ready for the next session.
Great, that's all good, mate. Mr. Adam Simpson, how are you, fine sir?
Oh, I'm
What a
very
great
good,
drive,
gentlemen.
mate.
How are you?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I hope your break was good, and glad to see you back on track, etc. A bit of a mixed race for you tonight. How'd you find it?
Oh, mate, the pace of these boys to start with was just cracking, and I ended up burning the tyres off it towards the end there, and I was basically left with zero tyre.
Yeah, well, I thought it got to about that 13 minutes to go, and I was saying to Tyson, I was like, I think the cliff's coming soon here for these SR10s. I'm not sure if these boys know if they've driven in these cars enough to know where the cliff on these tires are. Did you know where it was, or were you just hoping for the best?
To tell you the honest truth, mate, I had no idea because I've only ever driven this thing on week 13 when it first came out and done a couple of the short races there. So an hour-long race in this thing was definitely new.
Wow, you did very, very well to get through it, mate. Wow, I would have, as we saw, there was a couple of guys that ran out of gas there, like Tom, out in front there. So
poor bloody Tom. I felt sorry for him. He had the pace. He should have won the race and everything. To have that happen one corner before the finish line, it's a bit gut wrenching, but that's motor racing.
That is motor racing, hey. Fire that crew chief. It was the crew chief telling you that. What do you mean? All I needed was another 200 milliliters. You know, like, come on.
Yeah, 100%. No, it was a great race. All the boys done a really good job. It was good fun.
Awesome, man. Who would you like to shout out for your sponsors, etc.?
Well, of course, I'd have to chuck one out to the whole West End Motor Group. They do a fantastic job for us. And then with DC Shades, Relax Fishing, Precision Sim Training, Infinity Designs, and then of course the big help and everyone at Fishy Motorsport. They're a huge help.
Nice, thanks very much, man, and very big congratulations on your second place tonight, mate. Very well done. And we'll
boys.
Thank you. We'll bring down Mr. Scotty Rattlegun Rankin, who's absolutely ended up winning our race tonight, which is absolutely insane. Once again, surprising the rest of the field. Surprising everybody knowing that you can actually turn right, not just left all the time.
Yeah, so before we go any further, Scotty, how the hell did you pull that off? You're lucky. You only can turn left and then turns right, and then he's had a few spins and then comes home in P1. Mate, first of all, lucky job. Well done.
Lucky job. No, it was. I was actually playing. I got the jump. I didn't expect to get that good a jump. I was just sort of testing a few things. Spoke to a few of the boys. Spoke to Matty Jones actually last night with the F3s, and that was actually critical because he sort of made me think about the way you do starts just a little bit differently. And with the Radicals and F3 being so close together in terms of how they drive. Oh, sorry, I'm just qualifying at the moment. Yeah, so I just went 70% throttle pressure, bleed the throttle out, and back when I was racing motocross, about the only thing that I was good at was the starts. Everything else, no. But yeah, I was pitching that right from the first lap. I sort of led the first lap, trying to get some heat in the tires, and then those boys just breezed past me on the straight. I just went, you know what? There's nothing doing. Had a look at my fuel calculator. Yeah, we can get home if we really save. And well, 50 minutes of fuel savings followed by 10 minutes of pushing. That's what the end result is.
Yeah, and it seemed to work very well. We jumped on board a few times. We could hear you saving the fuel, and then we started thinking, is this fuel number going to be a thing? And you pulled it off, mate. And you do that quite a lot in your Indycar. And, you've told me the same thing how to save the fuel, and you pulled it off, and you showed those other guys who actually didn't make it home. And you're the only guy who took the gamble and bring it home. So congratulations to you, man. Before we get into the Porsches, any sponsors or any shout-outs that you want to give to the...
Yeah, first and foremost, Coles Express. They've got the cheapest fuel, so you got to make it go the furthest. So that was a big shout-out to Coles Express for their advice on fuel-saving techniques. DSL Welding services. Dragon RC, and big shout out to the newest sponsor as well, Pagnini Imports. So it's phenomenal to have Pagnini Imports on the side of the car. It'll phenomenal to have the Sim Racing World liveries on the car. And yeah, like I said, big shout out to everyone down at the Bowser.
Yeah, I need to take some tips off those guys at the Bowser because I ended up, cheaping my fuel yesterday, and you should need to teach me a thing or two. So congratulations, man. Well done on the round one of the Radicals, the win. Congratulations.
Yeehaw!
And just before you go, Scotty, I thought it was very ironic. The only time you spun was when you're turning left tonight. So
We did make note of that too. So, yes, well done. But I'm going to be leaving you here. Don't forget, guys, we do have the Porsches up next. They're just started their qualifying, and Scotty's in there doing it as well. So can Scotty go back to back? Well, you're going to have to wait and see. I'm going to be driving the safety car tonight, so I'm going to leave you in the more comfortable hands of Toddy, and I think we're bringing in Mr. Dyke as well. So a big goodbye to you all. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll leave you in the hands of these boys.
Much love, Tyce. Thank you very much for your services tonight, and good luck with race control in the following race for the GT3 Porsches. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Very cool. So we're going to have a great night tonight for our second race also. Yeah, I don't know what to expect for the second race. It's going to be a bit of a nuts one, especially with all the curbs riding, etc. They've changed the track limit, so we won't see as many 1Xs tonight. So we'll probably see a bit more riding on those curbs and a bit more, I suppose, F1 style driving, a bit more on Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Oh, I keep on saying it so bad. I'll just say Gillies. There we go. I'll take one out of Tyson's book. That's a bit easier to say. I will nail the pronunciation though. Eventually. And as we come through, we'll come into how awesome. There we go. I really do love this track. And it's one of my favorite tracks. It's one of those tracks. I think it's very much like for Spa. Spa is very much like that one of those tracks for me also. One of those ones that's really hard to kind of hard at first to master, but once you kind of start to get the track, you kind of, when you first start driving it, you kind of hate it. But then when you start to get it, you really start to learn to love it. That'd probably be the best way to say it. Because you really have to push your car onto the edge, and especially through the chicanes, etc. You do have to ride a lot of curb. You have to use all the track on entry and on exit, so that it does open up you to have a lot more 1Xs, or as we say, 1Xs in the iRacing world, as we say. But I suppose a 1 point of penalty if you go one sort of tire off the road and then things like that. If you push the tire limits, the track limits too far. If you get 25 of them, then you get disqualified completely from the race. So.
Put a pin in that, Toddy. It's only so 25 instant points nets you a drive through, and every 7 thereafter.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Apologies, Mr. Rattlegun Rankin. What a brilliant race from you, mate. You just get to come in here and commentate and celebrate.
My hands are all a little bit busy, and I'm sitting here listening to you. I thought, good opportunity to pipe up. Good opportunity to have fun with the chef. That was a Chef Toddy special from the cockpit for you, mate.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. That's nice. I can't believe you had such a... that was just absolutely brilliant, mate. I can't believe. I thought it was quite ironic that the only time you spun was when you went left out of the bus stop. Okay. Oh, Mr. Jamie Dyke, how are you, fine sir?
Doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
Very good. Thank you. So I'd love to welcome tonight, guys, for our GT3 Porsche Cup. We've got Jamie Dyke tonight from Fishy Motorsports in our hosting box with myself and my illustrious producer also Shivy tonight also, which is absolutely amazing to have you here. How you been, Jamie?
I've been doing pretty good, man. Been keeping busy, doing some enduro racing.
Oh yeah, what have you been competing in, etc.?
Doing Spa? Yeah, we did. We crashed out in the first session of Spa, and so we did the later session and qualified in top split and finished in the top half of the field. So yeah, the boys did an amazing job in that. And then straight after that, we went into a double sprint race for split winner Scops.
Oh wow, come on! Very nicely done. Very nicely done. So we'll see some of your boys on track tonight, and you can just sideline cheer for them, but can't be too biased tonight, Mr. Jamie. So as we see, Mr. Matthew Bowler, we haven't seen him. He's new to the series this time round for season 3. It'd be interesting for us to actually go through who the new guys are. Actually, we got Matthew Bowler, Sebastian Vandal.
Vandal is out of PRT.
Vandal, sorry. Maybe you know these guys a bit more. These new guys more than me, Jamie. So maybe you can go through these guys and tell us the new guys.
Well, Matthew Bowler is a great sim photographer and can steer a supercar like no tomorrow. Can steal a lot. So he'll be a very hard hitter in Porsches tonight. Sebastian, young kid, very, very skilled in the supercar. A bit of up and down as of late, but definitely got the pace up since joining PRT.
A bit more team support, you reckon? That's probably come from, or
maybe PRT might have thrown him in there to test it out, seeing as we got Send It a couple seasons ago, and some big teams are starting to join the league, so the feelers are out.
Yeah, everyone's starting to get excited about SRW, which is really, really cool to see, and great to see everyone getting involved and getting excited about it. And that probably gives me a good segue to thank our sponsors. So thank you very much to DSL Welding Services, packing in advanced simulations, and also the promo department. Thank you very much for all your support and all your love, and we couldn't do it without you. And everybody out there in Twitch and Facebook and YouTube land, and everybody out there viewing on all your platforms, thank you very much for coming along, and much love to you all. Make sure you hit that notification bell, make sure you hit that subscribe bell, and give you some love, share to your friends, all that jazz. Sorry, gotta go through the rigmarole. So we have quite a big field tonight, man. This is crazy, Jamie. It's good.
It's awesome. How many we got so far? I see 17 on the
Yeah, so it seems like we've got it'll be 19 excluding there's 20 all up. There's 19 excluding Tyson, who's in the race control safety car. So hopefully we don't see him too much tonight, but we probably could. What's your predictions on safety cars tonight, Jamie?
Ram Montreal, high.
Yeah, high. just one word, high.
It's a very intense turn 1 and 2. Very intense down at the hairpin lap 1. Everyone's piling in there at speed, and these Porsches aren't that easy to pull up. So, and of course, the World Champions is going to be difficult for the best of them. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, I reckon a chances of at least one safety car. I'll throw a bet down and say 2, but I reckon we'll definitely see 1.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those tracks that I suppose I've driven this a bit in the GT4s. Even with I don't know, I think it lends itself to a track that you don't want any ABS or traction control, so it sort of lends itself to the Porsches, but at the same time, that's what makes it really difficult, because if you have to do anything at the last minute in these cars, it just doesn't happen, does it?
No, that's right. And like in the supercars, it's very hard to pull it up without any of those assists, but you also drive a lot more cautious because of that.
Yeah, true. Where you're just hard out because there's much smaller cars as well. You got a lot less mass to shift, I suppose.
Yeah.
We got beautiful driving here. Benjamin Siren's definitely one to watch. Benjamin Siren ended up finishing season 2 in 3rd position there, and he was actually in Division 2 there, which was amazing, So he's actually seen some really awesome improvements over the 1st and 2nd series, and now he's up here with the top boys, battling it up for the top of the podium now. Whereas last couple of seasons he's been battling as an AM driver with the pro guys, and he's up with the pro guys, and he's just pushing hard, and he's along with Benjamin, along with Greg Barber as well, doing a couple of nice laps there as well. But Benjamin Sire is definitely one to watch. We saw last season.
Yeah, last season when I was racing the Porsches, I always thought Benny should be in the pro class because he was super quick and consistent in these cars. Took me by surprise that he was just an amateur, but yeah, he's definitely in for a shot, Randy.
Oh, definitely is. I don't think he's consistency. I think I think it's going to really throw separate the men from the boys as we come back across the world, or across the globe. As you know, guys, we did sort of the European, and we've done the American invasion, and now we're kind of making our way back across the world, back across the world to back towards more of our hemisphere, I suppose, and making a journey back towards there throughout our season 3, which is really, really cool. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the guys deal with the change in tracks, because it's easy enough if you go, okay, I know I'm going to America, I know there are a certain style of track. I know I'm going to Europe, there are a certain style of track. But when you start to go from America to Europe to Canada to all these different places, all these different weather systems, etc., temperatures of tracks, different styles of tracks, etc., that's where you really run into some different, I think towards the end of the season it might be different.
Yeah, especially like the next round. Round 3 being Brazil. It's going to be, a lot hotter than the measly Canadian Circuit Gilles Villeneuve and Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Yeah, there's a lot of Formula 1 style tracks, so it should lend itself to the Porsche quite a bit. It'll be interesting to see.
Most definitely. So here we go, guys. Look at that for our qualifying positions there. We've got Matthew Bowler in first position there with a 135.042. We've got Greg Barber second. What a drive from Greg Barber. He's on fire this year. Might really like this track. Well done, Greg. I know he's been pushing with the rest of these top boys as well, so it's great to see him at the top again. And Matthew Bowler, one of the new guys at the front there from NSR Esports. I'll have to look up what that NSR stands for. But Benjamin Sire, another contender in third place there. Sebastian Vandel. Did I say that right this time?
Yep.
Jamie?
Yep.
Yeah, Vandel. That's good. Vandel with Premier Racing Team. Chris Island in 5th. Adam Hughes in 6th. Richard Mayer in 7th. We've got Scotty Rankin in 8th. Callan Hodgkinson in 9th. Logan Barnett in 10th. Wrapping out our top 10. David Leslie in 11th. Greg Leake in 12th. And then we have Daniel Fritz in 13th, followed by Dean Sinkovich. One of the Sinkovich boys tonight up there in 14th place. Nathan Allen had a great race last night. In the TCRs had a ball. He was looking like he was having a ball out there. Nathan Allen in 15th place. Daniel Smith there in 16th place. Bit of a new face there, but look of it. Jake Edwards in 17th. Mr. Jamie Dyke in our commentary booth. Mr. Stephen McCartan in 19th place there. Tyson Race Control there in 20th, and Aiden Schultz backing us up at the back of the field there. So Aiden's not quite on track, but we're going to grid. We're going to green. Here we go. 5 reds. We are clear. Come on, let's go. Green. Let's go. For our round 1 GT3 Porsche Cup tonight here at Gillies. Oh, we've got number 10 car off at the back there. Off into the dirt, just trying to avoid a few things. We've got Benjamin Sire in our 3rd place qualifier going in on the inside there and just losing a bit of traction. What do you think's happened there, Tyson? Is that an unforced error? Has he gotten a bit of contact there? He's got a bit of damage on the back there. Sorry, Jamie. Sorry.
He got a little bump. were 3 wide coming out of 1, and they're yeah, squeeze 3 wide going through here. It's always tough. But unfortunate for Ben, but he's got good pace. He can come back from this.
Yeah, that was rough. Oh, and Greg Barber as well. So we've got our 2nd place qualifier and our 3rd place qualifier, both out towards the back of the pack here with a lot of damage. I'm not sure if that was just cold tyres and just slapped on the side there, but no, sorry. That was Colin Hodgkins, his teammate there, slapped him on the outside, sorry, of the first chicane there. So we'll see what's happened in the future from there as we roll back to that. But as we come down to the hairpin, the Singovich boys having a great battle with Dean Singovich having a great battle here with Jake Edwards. And Scotty Rankin in the other SRW car in front of him also. Oh no! I thought that was a Whitey's Pies. The Whitey's Pies car of Jake Edwards there has come a cropper. I think he's just locked up really late on the brakes there. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, it looks like he missed his brake marker by a car length or 2 and just locked the rears coming in. Got all squirrely and lucky to get away with that pretty clean.
Yeah, it's especially on his track as well. It's kind of, I don't know if you agree, Jamie, but I think it's one of those I found on this track driving it a bit. With these chicanes, it's not the second kind of apex you need to worry about. Sometimes it's the first apex and you think you've hit the first apex right, but by the time you get to the second apex, it's a little bit squirrely, and then you can't do it. Just like there, sorry. Because of the commentator, sorry. Oh, that was Dean Singovich there, sorry.
Right at the end there, at the Wall of Champions, Scotty Rankin actually hit it and came around right in front of.
Oh, that's why he slammed on his brakes there.
Jake Edwards, yeah.
I wonder what's happened there. Okay. Oh yeah, he has. Yeah, looking back on SDK, it seems that Seven might have gone a bit sideways there in a little bit. Oh no, it's Daniel. Oh, Scotty, yeah. Well, we'll leave that to race control, and maybe we'll see if there's any replays on that puppy. But who knows?
We've got a pit lane drive-through penalty for Sebastian Van Del.
Oh, what's that one for?
Not too sure.
For that earlier contact there, was it? For that earlier bit of contact, but it didn't seem like it was warranting of that. But there must have been something else that's happened there. Who knows?
Race control picked up on something we didn't. Who knows? But that's unfortunately put him back in the mid-pack. He'll be keen to get on going again.
Oh, most definitely. We see Leaky in the signature shiny red car there. He had a shiny red and yellow car for the last 2 seasons. He's shiny red and chrome now. So Richard Mayer, new to our series as well, in the 948 car. Absolutely, bro. He's got a bit of damage on that car, but he had a great qualifying. He's down 3 spots from where he qualified, but he's still sitting in the top 10. Qualified in 7th. He might be one to watch for the season. What do you reckon, Jamie?
It could be. I know the Frog Leap boys pretty well, and Richard must be must be new to the aerodynamic kind of racing, because I haven't seen his name pop up before, but he could be a gun in these.
Yeah, it's always one of those ones that, yeah, sometimes it's the beginner's luck. So sometimes people just jump in a car and you just feel natural in it, and all of a sudden you're fast, and some other cars you just don't get it. Oh, look at this little battle here. Come on.
And Logan just made a great move on David there. Very textbook into the chicane.
Seems Stephen McCartan might have made a bit of a mistake earlier, a couple of mistakes earlier, and that's what's kind of put him in the firing line of these guys by the look of it.
Yeah, I was talking to Stefan in the race control for the Radicals, and he's actually busted his ankle, so he's struggling a little bit in terms of injury, but it looks like he's braved up to have a crack. Doing well.
Bloody hell. Man, that makes me feel much worse about how fast I am then. Because if he's that fast with a busted ankle, then wow, he's already just man doesn't quit, does he? Well done, Stefan. That's crazy. This is your second race for the night as well. Wow, come on, son. Push on. That's a true Kiwi right there. Sorry, it wasn't a Kiwi myself, just having a go, you know. Loving it. Jake Edwards back onto the hunt now. He's up 6 positions from where he started. He had that earlier little bit of an incident. I think it was just avoiding what was happening in front of him. He's coming into the last chicane there, into the Wall of Champions. And yeah, it didn't come off all the best, but at least he didn't slap it into the wall too hard or anything else like that. So he's back out on track, and now he's starting to push a lot harder, as well as Cullen Hodgkinson. Cullen Hodgkinson had that earlier moment. Cullen Hodgkinson is really pushing on now, and he's one to watch as well.
Yeah, Alan just let Edwards go then. Possibly a redress or a slowdown, not too sure, but Edwards claims another one into the 10.
Look at that, back into the top 10 there. And he deserves that. I'm not sure if that was intentional, his qualifying from where he qualified, or whether it's just, you know, you jump in qualifying sometimes, and no matter what you can do, you just can't put a full lap together, and it just affects you sometimes, doesn't it? And then you get into racing, sometimes you can just race, right?
Yeah. It all comes down to setting a banker, and then you want to kind of get quicker than that. But the moment you get an off track on your first hot lap, it sends the whole procedure of qualifying down the toilet, and you just start to panic a little.
You do, hey, you get a little bit nervous, and then you don't think clearly, and then make one little silly mistake. You know, very, very similar to what we saw in last night in the TCRs, you know, just out of the exit of the pit on the same track. And Riley Jones was up there, and, you know, he was in second position when he came out. I think he just had a bit of a moment earlier coming into the pits, came out of the pits, and just, you know, probably put 50 centimeters of his tire off the line. Oh, big moment there. Sending into Nathan Allen. Oh, Nathan Allen being sent into the pits by Daniel Fritz. I'm not sure what was happening there. I'm not sure it was... both are going to the pits. I'm not sure if he just didn't expect him to break that early. What do you think, Jamie? Miscommunication?
Yeah, I kind of think they didn't realize what each other was doing. It looked like Nathan was actually going to go for another lap, and Daniel might have thought Nathan was going into the pits.
Yeah.
And that's why he pushed on and braked way too late for that. But with damage, they both ended up going in the pits.
Wowee. Okay. Daniel Fritz has entered the pits, left the pits. Okay, so it seems like Daniel Fritz has gotten a bit of a drive-through penalty there as well, so he's had to jump back in the pits to serve that penalty. So bad luck there for Daniel Fritz, just getting caught up in it, and a bit of miscommunication there from drivers, I think. But it's definitely fatally wounded old Daniel Fritz there. Fritz, you'll be a bit upset with that, but sometimes that's just racing, right?
Yeah, it happens. It's very common here at Montreal. You know, it's not hard to do, and it catches a lot of people out, being a pit entry on the racing line.
Oh yeah, and it's a horrible re-entry. I must say, it's a horrible re-entry and horrible planning for a re-entry of a pit lane to come out halfway through that essentially a hairpin corner, which is just insane.
Yeah.
But who knows? You know, Canada, sorry. Canada, I do love the track, but just that pit exit, I hate. It's just where it's situated, right?
Yeah. Benjamin's gotten past Daniel Smith. So he's starting to gain.
What a brilliant effort.
Back.
Here we go, boys. Come on.
Stefan McCartney all over Mr. Sinkovic. Good old Dean.
Oh, and he let them all go through. Oof, that was a bit rough on the way through. Bloody hell. Calm down, mate. He's just trying to work his way through there. So we got Mr. Dean Sinkovic, Scotty Ragan in front of him, Stefan McCartney in front of that. Just pushing hard for now. Just trying to get their own way through as well. Mr. Jake Edwards on the push now, back up to 10th position. After that early incident, it seems like he's got a bit of a fast repair and he's back on the hunt on Leakey. He's going to be able to make him through this last chicane.
Pulls the chicane off nicely.
Both avoiding the Wall of Champions. I think that's quite ironic. They call it the Wall of Champions. It's where everyone just slams into.
With any luck, Edwards will now push on to catch this battle pack of David, Richard, and Logan just up ahead. Ooh, as we get a drive-through penalty for Husey.
Adam wow. How did that one happen? Mr. Husey Hughes. I wonder what's happened there with Mr. Husey Hughes. Drive. That might have been what we were just talking about, the exit of the pits there, possibly. Who knows?
Looks like he had came into contact with Nathan Allen at some point during lap 6. Very unfortunate for you, running P3 at the time.
Yeah, 100%. That was very, very unfortunate for Benjamin Sarin at the start. A bunch of guys at the start there just got caught up in it all, wasn't it? It's Jake Edwards, Benjamin Sarin, and Scotty Rankin all got caught up in that start there. Unfortunately, those are the guys that we're kind of looking at watching out for, really. So, I mean, there's still lots of laps to go, so there's still people to watch for. I think one that's really exciting is Mr. Matty Bowler up the top there has absolutely just run away with this. He's already out into a 4.5 second lead there. And he's just pushing hard.
He hasn't got it for free. I mean, Greg's still there. 3.3 seconds is still within striking distance if Matty makes a mistake.
Oh, especially around here.
Yeah.
You make one tiny little mistake. Even if you make a tiny mistake and you save it, it's still going to cost you 2.5 seconds to try and correct it, get back to pace.
Definitely. But definitely the top two have checked out. Chris, being another 10 seconds back. It's definitely the Matty and Greg show up at the front.
Most definitely. But these boys, like Chris Island and Adam Hughes, it's one of those tracks that lends itself to people gapping each other a bit more because of the gains you can make or you can lose, essentially. Especially that Wall of Champions, through that chicane, you can definitely benefit probably at least 4/10, maybe 6/10 even on the exit of there if you get it right.
Yeah, and another thing that costs you time is traffic. I mean, Logan's caught up. He's right behind Richard Mayer here, and this is just a draft train that Edwards is now starting to roll the wind.
True. Because the beauty of these chicanes as well, and the beauty of this track, I think, as well, it actually bunches the pack up so much because they're longer straights, gives you enough time to get a bit of slipstream, but then enough braking space to be able to try and get a bit more, bridge a bit more of a gap.
Logan has a look into one.
He's going to be able to...
He's going to pull out of this round 2.
Probably smart, especially in these cars. You don't want to be making last-minute decisions.
No,
Sorry.
He's definitely eager to get past Logan. As Hodgkinson is making a move on Dean.
Very nice, clean on the inside. I find that very challenging. That first chicane quite challenging on the outside wall, because if you really want to push it on that outside wall, that's why you see so many marks on that outside wall as well. Oh, Kellen Hodgkinson. Dean Sinkovich still on the hunt there.
He's not going to let him keep it. If he can get it back, he will. As this has also brought Ben into this. He's caught up to these two. He's going to want to get ASAP.
And he'll be smelling blood right now also. Benjamin will not want to stay behind these guys for too long. But he definitely has some opponents in front of him that are very good at putting their elbows out. And no stranger to a fight in the weeds, if you know what I mean.
Definitely. But he's going to have to think about this, because if he pits, they're on risk of going a lap down to Matthew and Greg. Got to be very careful with the strategy.
Oh yeah, it's going to be quite close, isn't it? It's not a long lap. But over averaging that sort of averaging all over the field, probably that sort of mid 38s. So
Ben picked up a slowdown in the last chicane. He's gonna have to work that time back,
which is very easy to do. We've all done it 100 times. Definitely through that last chicane, through the World Champions, through that sector. You don't want to be next to you don't want to be slapping onto the World Champions, but if you go too far to the inside, that's when you start getting penalties. Oh, who we got off on the outside there? Is that Richard Mayer there on the outside? Who's that in the Red Bull car there?
Nathan Allen was just letting he's a lap car currently, just letting the fast pack through.
Sorry, I thought he might have had a bit of a problem there, because he had a bit of a damage, a little bit of scratches on his car, etc. So I thought he might have had a bit of a problem, but no, good on him. Godspeed, fine sir. What a race! I do love this track. It's quite insane in real life where they built it, etc. On an island essentially. A very insane kind of a racetrack, and that's why in IRL it's very, very susceptible to winds, and you know, in iRacing also in the simulator it's very susceptible to crosswinds, headwinds, tailwinds, etc. and really can change this track a lot.
Ooh, we must have missed it, but Richard Mayer has not only lost out to Logan, but Edwards has got through here as well. Edwards is catching right up to Logan and David here.
Oh wow. So, the hunt is back on. Everyone's back in the game now. Doesn't seem like SDK is a whole lot there. I'm not sure who's gone off track there, but Richard Mayer just seems like he's just had a couple of nightmare corners in a row and just had to let people go past by the look of it. Jake Edwards in that tiger-looking car. Oh, we got a replay. DSL, thank you very much for the DSL action replay. Thank you very much, DSL Welding Services. Okay.
Logan out
seems like he's...
Oh, there's a bit of a wiggle.
Yeah, it seems like his car might be pulling to the right a little bit. Like he might have hit the wall of champions on an earlier lap, and it's kind of going to, I don't know. It seems like he's fighting that car a lot more than he should be. That's all.
The right-hand side is caved in on the front, so most likely he has hit the wall of champions at some point.
And as we've seen in these previous seasons also, is that front splitter, especially on his Porsches, actually makes a massive difference to how much downforce you how controllable it is into the entry in that corner.
Oh, definitely.
After dark sim racing, boys. We got Logan Barnett there in the who Logan Barnett?
Send it
Who's
Sim
Logan?
Sports.
Is he? Oh, Logan Barnett. Look at that. There's some new names and some old names. I'm just trying to decipher through them all at the moment. I'm a bit rusty. We've had a few weeks off, guys, so bear with me. Oh, look at that for a view. That is awesome, mate. That is so good. What a shot. Look at that. Come on, push on. I love this hairpin, but it's a hard one, isn't it? It's kind of, depending on cars, some cars you can come down to second. Most guys you kind of have to go to the quick first and then the quick shift up in second. But other than that, you're pretty sweet, right?
Yeah. As always, Logan's having a look. Oh, they've made contact.
Oh, big contact there. Big contact there. Shibby, can you get your stream back up again, please? I don't think it's going accepted, but nothing else.
Race control is going to have to take a look at that. I don't know who's going to be at fault for that one, but contact into the World Champions is also hard, and the biggest beneficiary here is Jake Edwards, who's gotten past the very hairy battle pack and promoted himself into 6th place.
Wow, look at that, up 11 positions from his original starting position there. Absolutely brilliant move. Absolutely, wow, that is incredible. Well done from Jake Edwards. But we know Jake Edwards is one to watch, and he's had some serious pace last season also. So we know that he's not slow, and he's definitely got something to prove after that earlier moment or earlier also.
Benjamin Simon also just got past Callan Hodgkinson for 12th.
Beautiful move there. Oh, yes.
But after a few unfortunate incidents, Benny's on the charge. Sorry, it was 13th. Passed for 13th, but he's on the charge to come back.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Callan Hodgson got really squirrely on the exit of that previous corner. And Ben's just been able to slide right on by him very nicely. I'm sure that Callan and Ben, especially in season 1, and especially in season 1, these guys had some fat battles in season 1, Callan and Benjamin. But I think Callan knows what battles he needs to pick, and that's not one that he needs to pick at this particular time. Along with Stefan McCartney after that earlier moment, also he's back with track and he's pushing through. He's got a bit of pace now, but he's got a bit of damage on that front splitter. I think one of these things about the front splitter on these Porsches, I find it almost impossible to drive with that front splitter, and it doesn't look like that much damage, but it is. Oh, Jake Edwards, same thing. Curse of the commentator. What do you reckon's gone wrong there, Jamie?
He's just lit it up on the exit. Unfortunately, he had a slight wiggle mid corner coming off the curb, and he got onto the paint, and around she went. Very unfortunate for Jake. He was running super well.
He was, and he had some serious pace as well. But you can see that's one of these things on this track. It just never gets it right, does it? If it gets a little bit of wiggle on these cars, you can't save it. I find. I don't know. Maybe you are all the better drivers than me, but it just seems once it gets a wiggle on these, there's nothing to bring it back. Being just the front splitter and just that rear wing. Oh no! David Leslie having such a great run there and has been slotted back down into 9th place there. Wow.
That's very unfortunate for David. He was running really well as well.
Yeah, there's definitely contact.
Stefan misjudged his David's mid-corner speed and just he's just misjudged it and drilled him in the rear.
Yeah. We'll leave that to race control, and there's definitely some massive contact there, but I'll leave that to race control to have the unenviable job of Tyson to decipher that and say what they need to do. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a drive through there.
Benjamin has also gotten past David Leslie.
Very nice.
Moves up another spot into P10. Although there has been a few pit stops going on, and I can tell you that Richard Mayer has gotten the front of his car fixed. Pit stop done.
Go. So he's got a bit more downforce now.
Yep, and he's back out there in the Frog Leap GT3 circulating around GT3 Cup car.
Beautiful. Oh, bit of a lock up there, and giving Leakey the opportunity to take on the inside of David Leslie, or was that David Leslie just giving him enough space, and David just trying to warm up his tyres there because he just exited the pits not long ago.
He could have cold tyres, but he's just drilled Leakey for his trouble.
Oh no! So Leakey's just had a bit of a shunty pants from old David Leslie, but David Leslie's definitely dropped down a few.
Yeah, Leslie's just entered the pits again. Leakey looks like he's only got a rear bumper.
Oh!
Rear bumper damage, which isn't too bad.
Oh, it's definitely not intentional from David Leslie. He was just trying to get through there and just didn't realise it was there. It looked like a bit of net code, like he'd been sucked in there a little bit, possibly. Who knows? So, Matthew Bowler out in front for NSR Esports. Absolutely destroying them out there at the moment. Well, not 100% destroying, but, almost at 5 seconds there. He's opened up himself a really nice lead, but Greg Barber and Chris Island, Greg Barber's still putting on the fight, but Chris Island's folded back quite a bit, so there's not going to be a hell of a lot of slipstream to take advantage of in the latter part of this race.
I'm actually going to have to message Matty Bowler after the race because NSR closed up shop a while ago, so he hasn't updated his SDK. He's actually created a new team, Visceral Esports.
I wondered because the livery didn't match the. Yeah, I saw that the Visceral didn't match the NSR. Cool.
Yes.
That's easy enough to do though, than that just not update those little things. You just jump out and you want to get racing, right? So that's just human nature, isn't it?
It's the last thing you think about when you're a racer, and not a broadcaster or a streamer updating all your details.
Oh, 100%. Like, what do you mean? Did you say tire pressure? What do you mean my name on stream? Yeah. Did you mean fuel level?
Richard Mayer having a good hard look at Leakey here. Fresh car. The Leakey damage one.
Looks like they're up into temp as well now.
I don't know if Leakey's pit yet. I can't remember seeing pit. Rich is definitely going pace. Righty.
I'll take there as well. No, he is not. Okay, the only people that we've had actually pit is actually not that many. We've only had 6 cars actually pit so far. And that might have been because of certain things happening, not so much necessity to. Oh, necessity versus option, I should say.
See,
for the early pits.
Logan is down in P17, so he must hit. Something has happened to him. Previously, Stephen McCartan got a drive-through penalty for that incident.
Yep.
With David Leslie.
It's been pretty action-packed already with a few incidents already. It's good to see that we haven't seen a safety car yet, which has been nice, but that always makes it quite interesting.
Very surprising that no one suffered that much damage from turn 1 and 2. But that's lucky for all the boys. They're all still circulating.
Yeah, especially at the start, we didn't see anybody lock it up or light it up too much off the line. So I think a lot of these guys, majority of these guys have been here through the last 2 seasons. We've probably got about we got probably 8 guys that are new. Plus we've got the strength of the field this time for our first round also. So pretty awesome to see strength in numbers, and these guys are pushing hard all together. And it seems like these new guys are just slotting in with the older crew and just kind of know how they race. Maybe they've been watching season 2 and they've just been waiting with bated breath to get into season 3. What do you reckon, Jamie?
Maybe. Matthew's starting to stretch out his lead now. Greg's still hanging on, 14 seconds to Chris behind. Greg's looking pretty comfortable here. But 5.2, Matty's definitely put power down and started to try to gain an advantage. Barb's doing it. Oh, that he knows who he's racing. Not going to push the car too hard. Very nice.
Yeah, just being patient, eh? It takes a lot of strength to be patient and just not make rash moves, doesn't it? And, everybody out there in viewer field as well, it might seem like that's a massive gap, 5.2 seconds, but that can get eaten up very, very quickly on this track. One little mistake from Matthew Bowler, and Greg Barber will be straight up on his back, if not passing pretty quickly. So,
speaking of Christopher Ireland, he's now been drawn in by Hughesy. Adam Hughes has closed this gap. He's had an off track. Like Christopher's been pushing and gotten an off track, and now, unfortunately, due to that mistake, Hughesy's now all over him.
On the hunt now. Absolutely pushing him as well, and then you know that, especially around here with these chicanes, you can catch up to the back of someone real quick and put a lot of pressure onto him very quickly.
If I was Hughesy, that's what I'd be doing. Christopher's already made a mistake without the pressure.
Yep.
Just put as much pressure on him as you can without going for a dive, and odds are he'll make another one.
Yeah. Just brake. Continually brake for the next 3 laps, a bit later for every corner, but know that you have it without putting anybody at risk. That's what I'd do. Just a little bit, even if it's another 30 centimeters or half a meter, you know that's just enough to make them just sometimes. But who knows? Chris Ireland's not listening to us. He's getting out of the way, mate. He's like, nope, get out of my way. I'm going to lap this car, put him in between us. I'll put another 24 car there of Dean Sinkovich in between us, see if he can try and get a bit of a buffer. Slow him down there. Massive one there from Daniel Fritz, was it? Oh, Daniel Smith, sorry.
No, Daniel Fritz,
I was Daniel Fritz, sorry. Oh, and Stefan as well, both. Oh, that was a bit rough from both of those guys. That's unfortunate for them.
So, Fritzy's just done it on the exit of the hairpin. By the looks of it,
Which is so easy to do.
Yeah, he's just gotten on the power, worn tyres. They would be doing tyre changes. They'd be just taking off fuel and pulling off.
And at that point, he'd be like, I want to get early. I want to get a little bit earlier on the gas than I did last time. I had it nailed that time. Oh, no!
Definitely. He was very lucky not to clip the wall there.
Very. We saw him get a little bit of damage earlier, so it was great that he could keep it out of the wall and not have to deal with damage once again. So beautiful run from all these guys. It's definitely a hard track, especially in these cars. I had a bit of I tried it. I love this track. I thought, got in the GT3, got in the GT4, got in the TCRs and stuff around here. Got in this car, not so good. It's
Scotty Rankin here chasing down junior PRT Sebastian.
Pushing.
He wants to pass Seb. Scotty will, because Seb's a main Scops driver. He's working very well, and Scotty can put someone like Seb out and beat him in a race, it'll give him a massive ego boost.
Oh, I see. It's one of them, isn't it? So that's why Scotty Rankin right now, Mr. Radagon Rankin, with a beautiful exit of this corner. What a beautiful move on Sebastian Vandel. Oh, way, that was insane. I'm not sure what Sebastian's happened there, but he's slowed down there a little bit. Maybe he's got a little bit of a problem, but he seems to be very slow now. He's getting a very slow exit out of that corner there, but maybe it was just the angle of the camera there.
Might have got a slowdown at one of the chicanes, Sebastian, but very unfortunate. He's still running P6. Scotty's just moved up to P5 and has elected to pit.
Oh, here we go. So he's back up into 5th.
He's got
Sebastian Vandel.
Rankin, yeah. In Rankin's mind, he'll be thinking, I've got past him, I'll pit now, and I should come out ahead of him.
I see. Yeah, given the lap time, right? Yeah, true. And he might even actually be able to get other people. He might actually be able to pip a couple another, actually. But look at this time. If my timing's right, he should be able to get another 2, possibly, from where he was. Who's going to come out in front of? Who's that we can see in the background? That's our leader, Matthew Bowler right there. Yep. Okay, so he's come out right at the end of the field, just in front of our race leader there, Matthew Bowler. So that was beautiful driving from them, just to try and keep on the lead lap. So I'm sure he'll be making sure he's not sweating too hard now that he makes sure that he's on the lead lap still.
Oh, he will be. He'll be wanting to clear Nathan as soon as possible because Vandel's going to want to cover him off.
Yeah, put the elbows out and hope for the best, eh?
pretty much, but he's very lucky not to lose a lap. Very smart, good strategy. Rankin's done well.
Mr. Radagon Rankin, no, he can't just turn left. He can turn right also by the look of this, so very well done from him. Representing the sim racing world colours also. Team SRW, legend.
Benjamin Siren, 95 Sim Sport in the pits.
Oh, here we go. Do you think he had a bit of let's face it, he had a bit of a mixed start, so now he's just coming through. So he might be just strategically here. And then he'll be just coming on a push after this. Absolute push.
Well, Benjamin was behind Scotty Rankin prior to the stop, and he's taking tyres.
Yeah, he's got a lot coming in the pits.
Matty Bowler's in the pits. Greg Barber, P1, P2. Jake Edwards goes on.
Daniel Smith.
One lap down. Benjamin's now out.
Real planning from these guys. These guys just saw the train coming in and go, oh, I better get in now. Otherwise, it might get a bit interesting for everybody, I think.
As Matthew Bowler's away.
Okay, how far is he going to be out? Whoa! And a blinder of a pit stop there. He picked up a 2.5 seconds in the pit stop. That's crazy.
As Adam Hughes is coming out of the pits now.
Oh, Benjamin Siren. I know. Sorry, that was Jake Edwards again. Just can't seem to get a handle on this car around this track by the look of it tonight. Unfortunate.
That's cold tyres again for Jake. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And these things. Well, what about three laps around here would get him up to temp in this car, or 2 laps? You reckon?
Two laps would get him up to temp. You just need to make sure you're braking in a straight line, really.
Yeah.
If you're not braking,
turn the wheel and don't stomp on the brake and turn the wheel.
Yeah, if you're not braking in the straight line in these cars, you're overheating one tyre and not putting heat into the rest of the tyres properly. So you really want to work on your mid-corner speed to get temp during mid-corner and brake evenly.
Oh, so is that a thing with these cars as well? You want to be, you know, the more even you want to brake in these, the better they're going to be longevity, obviously, but...
Yeah, and it's the same with the supercar when you put green tyres on. You want to treat the tyres very nicely in the first handful of laps before you start punching it out. Otherwise, they just chew out.
Yeah, 100%. Do you have a little bit of a secret to any sort of tire pressure sort of styles and stuff like that? Do you set it a little bit lower so then you can bring it up? You got longer to bring it up, and then you know it's gonna last longer or anything else like that? Or you just kind of run how you feel like you're gonna run and go from there?
In the supercar, no, not really. In some enduro events, we might put some pressures up on guys that aren't working hard.
Yeah. Oh, big moment there from Logan Barnett. Oh no. He's had a very unfortunate moment in the number 11 car, sorry. This is what I was talking about.
See, he's already got damage on the front, so it's not turning the way he wants it.
Yeah.
He's just picked up the throttle on the slide.
Oh, I did that inside hard.
That won't be feeling good.
It's definitely bent some suspension.
Turns out he's actually got bent steering as a result of that one.
Oh yeah. Maybe we'll get an in-car and see how down the straight, see how turned the wheel is down the straight. Wow, that's him straight.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's not bent that far, but as you saw him go around the hairpin, the rear end just wanted to float around like a truck. So yeah, definitely not happy.
He's into the pits now, so that'll be good. Logan Barnett now into the pits.
As Logan Barnett put it into the wall in pit entry.
Oh no. Ouch, that sucks. Insult to injury, huh? There we go.
He'd just be frustrated with himself now. He's running very well in the race, and a few mistakes have cost him some car damage.
Sebastian on the hunt back down. Oh, he's just passing some back markers here. But he's definitely... Oh, Dean Sinkovich having a big moment. Is he going to be able to hold it out? He's he saved it, but it seems like he's having a lot of trouble trying to get that thing back on the track. As you see, Greg Leake having a bit of a fight with Daniel Fritz behind him also.
We just got word that Jake Edwards has retired from the race.
Oh.
No longer be competing tonight.
Oh.
Unfortunate. Daniel Fritz all chasing down Leakey. Leakey's car looks really good for not many sponsors. Very, very nice and red. I like the look of that car. Very nice for the Porsche. Leakey did a 40.9 last lap to Fritz's 38. Fritz is on the charge here. Got a Uzi.
Absolutely pushing hard, these two boys. Uzi and Chris Island, this battle's still on.
And this is actually David Leslie behind him.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's massive. Well, it's a massive crash there for Daniel Smith and Nathan Allen there by the look of it. Oh no, the Red Bull cars coming together again, just like F1.
Oh, that's not good. Bosses won't be happy there.
Yeah, Winter Spice will be saying something about that from Red Bull, won't he? Oh, sorry, I had to say it.
Oh, he's actually pinched the rear under brakes.
Oh, he has. Oh, and he tried to pull it up as well, and that would have been horrible as a teammate. There's nothing he could do from that first lockup. Oh, that sucks as a teammate. He's like, he could see that. It would have been slow motion. Oh, no,
Yeah,
sorry.
he's got the wiggle on. He's got it all locked up. Wheels aren't rotating.
Oh.
And there's nothing he could do there. He was just a passenger into his teammate.
Nathan, I feel so bad about that. It was so beyond slow motion. You sitting in that car going, please stop. Don't hit my teammate. No. Some things are inevitable. Oh, so they both towed to pit. So it seems like both teammates are out of the race here. So not either of them have made it out of there, Jamie.
Daniel drove it back. Daniel drove himself to the pit.
Well, we are coming into the last 14 minutes of this race. It might be a team decision to just let it ride, but who knows? Matthew Bowler absolutely pushing out his lead now. He's out into over a 9-second lead now here, guys. So an absolutely brilliant performance here from the Visceral Motorsports car.
Esports.
Visceral Esports car there. Very, very nice looking livery and an amazing drive. You can see how hard he's pushing that car with the glowing rear brake discs on that thing is absolutely insane. It's the middle of the day, you can still see it bright orange. So he's definitely pushing that thing. There's a lot of trail braking on this track, isn't there, into these chicanes?
There is. You gotta pull them up straight, but trail them in to get the car to turn real nice. And it's a very hard thing to do in these cars, being rear engine with a ratio towards the rear.
Is there a secret to that? When you're driving the Porsches, do you tend to put your brake bias a bit more to the front, or?
It depends on the driver. Depends on the track.
Okay.
A lot of people, being rear engine, you want the brakes to the rear. But
then you get too much rotation around your corner, like downshift rotation and stuff sometimes.
And then you can get what happened to Daniel and just lock rears into a hard braking area.
Yeah.
So it's very much trial and error and knowing what you want to extract out of the car.
Yeah, knowing your own driving style, etc. as well. And that's what I found a lot with sim racing as well. A lot of people go, "Oh, just do this," and you're like, "Well, that doesn't work for me because it doesn't work with my driving style, essentially."
That's exactly right.
Those things, yeah. Anyway, Mr. Adam Hughes, straight up, and he's up 3 spots from his starting position. He's made a bit of roads back here, and he's gotten over this little bit of a battle there with Chris Island earlier. And Chris Island's gotten past Sebastian Vandel and cleared him now by quite a section now. So they were having a bit of a battle there, Mr. Chris Island and Sebastian there. But now after that earlier moment, he's been able to add a big gap onto him there. 12 seconds. I don't think he'll be able to get that. So that might wrap out our top 5 there, unless someone makes a massive mistake in the last 10 minutes of our race.
It's hard to say, but, one small thing, as we saw previously, one incident can just ruin the car. These aren't, they aren't Volvos. You touch a wall, they break.
Yeah, 100%.
A drive-through penalty for Daniel Smith, which adds some insult to injury for taking out his teammate.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt, doesn't it? That's really definitely gotta hurt. It's just a little touch that's gotta hurt a little bit. You're sitting there going, "Oh man, I could have." Yeah, but he really had nowhere to go, and he tried to pull it up in time. So.
Yeah, and he's back out on track, so he'll surf that drive through and then continue on with the race and hopefully snag some points.
I'm sure he will. He'll make it happen. And these guys got some pace, and we've still got some time of this race to go also. So we'll see how these guys deal with the rest of this race and see how they deal with this tyre wear also.
Looking at Sebastian coming up on some lap traffic. Whoa! He has to prop the lap traffic. Never fun for either driver.
Yeah, but it's hard, eh? It's for either driver. There, yeah, well said. For either driver. Sometimes you're like, it's like when you're walking down the street and you're walking down the footpath. One person's walking one way, you're walking the other, and then you do that whole. You go one way, but you both got the same way, and yeah, you still get that kind of thing in racing as well, because you kind of like, I don't know, I want to let you go by, but then sometimes there's a bit of confusion between where one person wants the other person to go, I suppose.
Yeah, as a driver on the lead lap trying to get past, you really just want to go through as quick as possible. And realistically, the car that's being lapped, even though they have to yield, they don't have to move out of the way. They can stick to the racing line and drive their race. And it's only when the car on the the race lap, the leader's lap, it's only when they make a move that they have to yield. So and a lot of people get confused on what's the best way to approach that. I always thought, you let a faster car by at the very start of a straight, you tag onto their toe, you don't lose any time, and they'll pull you through.
Yeah. Whereas then you look at in IRL with Le Mans and things like that, it's always the responsibility of the faster car to make sure that they get around the slower car, but making sure that the slower car stays on the actual racing line, which is, in real life with Le Mans and stuff like that, it's actually the responsibility of the faster car to make it around the slower car. So I can see where sometimes with the whole sim world and the real life world and stuff like that, sometimes interjects sometimes, and that's why some people get a bit confused when it comes down to the race rules and things like that. When they're in race, I know I do sometimes. I'm like, what do you mean? That's not a rule. And they're like, well, it is here. Oh, okay, then cool. It's like, so it's one of those balances, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, the rules can change per category, per country. FIA has a lot to do with it. It's just a matter of all the drivers being on up to the same page with the code on what they should do, what's the smart to do, and that way, lap traffic isn't an issue. But
and it should never be an issue, should it?
No.
But we do see. Adam Hughes had a massive spin here, a massive incident here. Chris Island is back on the hunt now after Adam Simpson with that massive. Simpson at the start of our night in our first race got in the second place there, and now he's had a bit of a moment here with not a hell of a lot of that many laps to go. So
Adam Hughes, correction. Hughesy, that was Hughesy.
Oh, did I say? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apologies, everybody out there getting confused with names. It's a double header there. Adam Hughes.
Again, just like it was either Jake or Ben early in the race. Very lucky not to hit the tire bundle and put it into the wall of champions, but it just looked like he got off the.
He's launched over that. He just couldn't get grip on the braking section.
The rear came out wide on the painted on the Astro, and around she went.
You see, he's jumped on the brakes there on the Astro there as well, because he's carrying too much speed through there, and he's just I think he might have thought, I might be able to catch it if I get enough grip just on the track and not hit the Astro, but he's broken straight on the Astro and just turned it around.
And now he's got overheated tyres.
Oh yeah, true.
And he's got Chris Ireland, who is wanting a podium.
Fresh air and lots of slipstream behind him.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Christopher will know with 2 minutes to go in the race. This is probably his best chance to put a move on Hughesy as his tyres aren't happy.
Sweating so hard too right now. He's sweating. I don't know how cold it is over there in Australia at the moment, but it's pretty cold over here. But I reckon I'd be sweating right now. Oh, wowee! What's happened there? I think it's just too much of a push there. Maybe a bit of a commentator's curse there.
Possibly. He might have locked the front.
Oh.
Yeah, you can already see the trail. He's locked the front.
No, but it looks like Hughesy in front of him is actually locked up a little bit early, or is just about locked up, gone on the brakes a bit hard, and now Chris Island's had to lock up behind him. That's what it looked like. Looked like a bit of a chain reaction of braking situation there, to be honest, into the braking zone. See how he's gone a bit sideways? He's had to avoid it a little bit. He's had to brake. He's had to lock up to avoid hitting him. But look at that.
But Hughesy's going to be braking earlier anyway. He's on.
Yeah, true.
Overheated.
He should know that. He was on the slipstream. He should know that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But that's unfortunate for Chris.
But it's been some amazing that we haven't seen a safety car this whole race with 2.5, 3 minutes to go here, guys. So we should see probably.
It is very surprising, and with a few spins and a drive through and a busted ankle, Stefan McCartan is running in the 10.
Absolutely legendary. We all love a bit of Stefan. He's an absolute legend. Mr. McCartan, absolute legend. Yeah, and he's a choice cuzzy as well, so all good. Yeah, to back it up, he's either in the com box or he's on track. So a lot like the rest of the SRW team. So big shout out to the SRW team as well. I think we give lots of shout outs to our sponsors, etc. But we don't give enough shout outs to our BC team as well, and the rest of the team and everybody else in the background that goes into creating this magic. So big shout out to all you legends. Absolute pleasure. Mr. Stefan McCartan absolutely pushing. Is he going to be able to catch Scotty here? Scotty absolutely relishing in the fact that he gets to turn right tonight and doesn't have to speak so much, which he's loving it. So that's really cool. So we got Stefan McCartan and we got Scotty Ragan following each other here for the last couple of laps here for this race, part of the BC team. So much love, boys. Absolutely killing it out there. And Benjamin Siren behind them as well. He's made a big push back up again. He had that early incident and unfortunately hasn't been able to make it back. Maybe we gave him a bit of a commentator's curse there early, JV, or maybe I did, just talking him up a bit, and he had that lap 1 incident and hasn't been able to pull it back since. We should be coming up to a white flag soon too.
Few mistakes from Benjamin, which is unfortunate after that incident. But he's in the 10, he's picking up points. He needs the points. And inside the 10 will do well for his championship fight.
And as I'm sure you probably know as well, and I'm sure you've experienced, it's always hard going up a division as well. You got from like AM to pro, and then you put so much pressure on yourself more than anything as well. We should be coming up to a white flag here too, guys.
I don't think that's the case for Ben. He's quick enough. He definitely deserves pro.
100%. He definitely. 100%. I'm not taking that away from him whatsoever. I just think, in our previous times when I've gone from like a Div 2 to a Div 1, you get a bit of a jitters on the first race, and you're like, I'll get that out of my system, and then from then on, I'm sorted. You know?
Yeah, definitely. It's always the way.
Absolutely brilliant drive. I think we're coming down to our last. We should be on our white flag here, guys. Still on this battle with Stefan McCartan and Scotty Ragan, having a great little battle here. Who's going to be able to get this? Is the Radical going to get it, or is Mr. Stefan going to be able to get it as well?
He's done it to this point. He's got ahead. He's covered nice.
Pushing hard.
Very nice there.
He made a beautiful move earlier, so we see if Scotty Ragan might be just happy, just sitting behind him and letting Stefan, his brethren, is in the BC team, go through. Stefan with the most impressive drive of the day, up 12 positions for the day. Bloody hell, that is insanity. Well done, mate.
Stefan
didn't set a quality. Okay, just sandbagging then, was it?
No, I don't think he wanted to because of his ankle.
Oh, yeah, true, yeah. Just in case he gets too sore and then you have to be in the way, etc.
That's the checkered
here we go with the victory for Matthew Bowler. Absolutely annihilation stations here. By over 14 seconds. He was just very consistent, wasn't he, Jamie?
He was. A great way to start the season. Round 1 with the win. Greg Barber comes home in second. He drove sensationally, very clean.
Huge. I think Chris Island thought he might have had him there at the end, but
he had a chance.
He had a chance, but
Chris just hit the wall.
Oh, as he just slapped the wall there, just to show off on the outside there. Yep, beautiful work. We got Sebastian Vandel there doing a beautiful job to hold off Richard Mayer towards the end there. Chris Island doing that beautiful job to overtake Mr. Vandel there, but he couldn't quite get him back. Vandel couldn't quite get Chris Island back. Richard Mayer holding him off, doing a brilliant job there. Being able to try and hold on to the back of those guys. It wasn't quite successful, but at least holding it off from the two BC boys of SRW, from Stefan McCartan and Mr. Scotty Ragan, holding them off at the back there. Mr. Benjamin Siren in 9th place, finishing in 9th place by the look of this. Having those kind of incident earlier and trying to clamber his way back, and then Cullen Hodgkinson in the 10th place. And I'll hand to you, Mr. Jamie Dyke, to do from then on.
David Leslie finishes in P, and Greg Leake 12. Good run from Leakey. Unfortunately, he had to slow up once he got a lap down. Dean Sinkovich P13, Fritzy P14. After a few spins, Nathan Allen and Daniel Smith, 15 and 16 after that inter-team collection.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I half forgot about that, actually. Wow.
Logan Barnett ends up 17th after severe damage from that incident out of the chicane. Jake Edwards, P18.
Yeah, after that early that incident, he had to retire, didn't he, towards the end of the race there?
That's right, he did too. So unfortunately, just P18, and that brings up the rear of the grid.
Yeah, and then you've got your both of you guys in there, and Mr. Tyson McAvoy. Thank you very much for your race control tonight, and also thank you very much for having us up back and being in a comms box for our first race tonight, part of our super show also. So we have Mr. Matthew Bowler right now in our green room. We'll see if we can bring down everybody else, but we'll bring down Matthew Bowler first. Mr. Matthew Bowler, what a drive from you tonight, mate. How did you find it tonight? You seem like you're pretty au fait with this track, and you're at a nice calm spot at the front there. At the start, you kind of had to fend off quite a bit, put your elbows out, but then you calmed down from there. How'd you find the race?
Yeah, it was actually quite boring towards the mid phase because yeah, there wasn't anyone really around. But yeah, decided to jump in pretty late. I think I joined with about 10 minutes left in practice. I had absolutely no laps under my belt. I'd just done another league, so yeah, jumped in it and surprised myself with how much pace I had around here. So yeah, obviously didn't quite get the best start, but we were able to hold off the field and come away with a win. So yeah, can't complain with that for the first round.
Oh no, absolutely brilliant driving. So it was nice to see from the Visceral Esports team, if I got that right.
Yep.
Hopefully,
Yeah, you did.
beautiful, absolutely legendary with the Acetec Sim Sports on the back there too. So repping those boys, some great pedals out there, etc. Some new boys to the sim sports game as well. What I'll do is I'll bring in our second place and third place, and then I'll transfer back to you so you can do your sponsors, etc. Okay, Mr. Matthew Bowler, actually, Bowler. Sorry, I keep on saying it wrong.
Everyone does
I
it. Don't worry.
apologize. I apologize. I 100% apologize. While I'm here, would you like to give a shout out to your sponsors, mate?
Yeah, I'll give it a shout out to just Visceral esports in general. I'm under trial with them at the moment, so I'm not actually officially in the team. But yeah, you can see all the sponsors on the car. I don't actually know them all off by heart. And obviously, just a massive shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast and putting on the league.
Oh, thank you, mate. It's a pleasure to have you, mate. Thanks for coming along. It's brilliant for you to finish another league and come back into ours as well. So hopefully we can see you come back for weeks to come and can start talking you up a bit more with the Visceral Esports guys and make you a permanent member of their team there by the look of it, eh? So maybe we can help you secure the position.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Oh, good. I'll bring down Mr. Greg Barber, and then we'll bring down Mr. Adam Hughes as well. I think we'll bring it both down, and we'll start with Mr. Greg Barber.
Hey guys.
Thanks, Mr. Greg Barber, how are you, mate? How'd you find tonight? Mr. Matty Bowler up the front, kind of filed away from you a bit earlier. A bit of a rubbish start from him, but you kind of kept up with him for a bit. How'd you find the race?
Yeah, he was untouchable, really. I just seemed to make a tiny mistake almost every lap. It just cost me a couple of tenths all the time. A few of those were in the first 5 laps that let him get away, and then it was tough to keep up with him from there. And sort of from about halfway on, when I had a bit of gap behind me as well, I just tried to, keep it off the wall of champions and get it home.
It's hard when you end up just in that spot early on in the race and you're kind of by yourself and you're kind of going, okay, how do I get any stream or anything else like that? But you've got clean air, so it's kind of a double-edged sword, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's good because you got no one around you to worry about, but yeah, you got to sort of try and keep yourself occupied.
Yeah, and try and keep your pace up also, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I'll hand to you. Is there any sponsors you'd like to? I'm sure there's lots of sponsors you'd like to thank tonight, so I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, thanks for DSL Welding Services and SRW to putting it on again, and Pagnani Simulations. But for the car, we got number 22 Poolmaster Bayside Porsche, Shunt Scenery, Smoke Studio, Palmerston Bakery, and June Designs. We're sticking with the excellent livery that they provided us, and yeah, we love driving it. I was thinking about changing the colour of the wheels for this season, but decided against. Hopefully those guys can stick with us throughout the season, and we can have some good races.
I love the liveries, actually. We commented on last season when they came out, and I was like, oh, that looks fresh, being the whole pool master and everything. It actually makes me want to buy a pool and jump in a pool, to be honest.
I thought you were going to say it makes you want to buy a Porsche.
No, not a Porsche. Anybody can buy a Porsche.
Pool's a bit cheaper, actually.
Yeah, exactly right. Not in New Zealand, it's not, bro. No, definitely not. Well, thank you very much. It's always awesome to have you back, and it's great to have you back in this series as well, Greg. So it's be awesome to see you throughout the season also. And on that note, I'll bring Adam Hughes into the room as well. Have a chat with him.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Mr. Hughesy, Adam Hughes, how are you, sir? How'd you find tonight, mate? You're not too bad, man. Not too bad. How'd you find tonight?
Yeah, pretty average to say the least. Like it was good race and all. Good start. Thing went from P7 to P4 by turn 2, which is a bit of a benefit. Then had a slight altercation with Nathan Allen down at the SS halfway through the lap, which sort of gave myself a drive-through penalty, which wasn't really needed. But other than that, no, look, good result. P3, P2 for Barbs, obviously. So we're just got to work a little bit harder to get up to Matty Bowler.
Yeah, it seems like that incident was possibly the car in front was a little bit early on brakes. That was kind of my thoughts, but it was kind of. How did you see it in car? Did it seem like it was a bit early under brakes, or did you think you were just a bit late, or?
That's at the like when it first happened. I thought you'd be taking the Mickey because I thought seriously he's a lap car. Then one of the boys said, "Oh nah, you got to pass him on a straight when it's reasonable on both parties' side." I looked at the replay and yeah, sure enough, I sort of moved him by 4. So I went for a gap that wasn't really there. So that was probably more or less on me on that one. So a bit frustrating, but definitely no for next time. So I think I got away with it considering I kept P3. So yeah, nah. It is what it is. Just move on to the next one and hopefully avoid that type of things, which sort of brought me undone last season with that type of stuff.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's I think that says something for the series, and it says I think that says a lot about the caliber of everyone's driving with SRW as well, and in all our different car series as well. Is that everyone kind of not only kind of just realizes what's racing and stuff like that, but kind of always very aware about their position on track and how they can always get better every week and stuff like that. And what we see with SRW as well, every single week, every single person gets better and a bit cleaner and everything. Like tonight, we didn't even have one safety car. If round 1 of season 2, we had, I think it was 5 safety cars in the first race. So you can see how much of the evolution of these guys, and he's an absolute legend and an absolute pillar of iRacing community. Great to have you part of everything, really. But it's great to see. I'm sure you agree, Hizzy.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it would have been a safety car after the turn 2, turn 3 debacle because I saw a whole bunch of death behind me in my rearview mirror. So I'm surprised the safety car didn't get called for that, to be honest. But yeah, look, other than that, it was pretty good from everyone to keep it relatively clean, except for a few niggles here and there. But other than that, all in all, I think it was a decent race for top 3 anyway. Don't know about the rest of the field though.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. There was a few incidents, etc., but it wasn't too messy along the way, which is really, really cool. And on that note, Husey, who would you like to thank tonight, mate?
Obviously, thank you guys for hosting tonight with the broadcast. Obviously, yourself, Toddy, to Nathan, and obviously to Dikey, Jamie, that is, for obviously coming in and giving everyone a chop out, or as he's known, the GOAT.
The GOAT, legend.
Obviously to SRW, both Sinkovich brothers for doing their bit. Obviously to Scotty Rankin as well. Obviously to the sponsors, Pagnian, DSL Welding Services, Dragon RC, and obviously to Stefan, Crisscross, obviously to Poolmaster and Palmson Bakery and Shunts, and obviously Jennifer Russell Real Estate and Smoke Studios for staying on board with us for the season.
Absolutely legendary. Thank you very much, Husey. And Jamie, I just realized, is there anything you would like to ask the guys or make any comments, etc.?
You gonna take it as championship this year?
I'll try to, mate.
Not if I can help it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at these boys here. Potentially top 3.
If Barbs can do it, I'll happily play the Valtteri Bottas game. No problem at all.
Well,
I think Barbs and I can do it. We're not stupid. We're pretty smart. We're sort of bouncing ideas off each other 24/7, like yourself and the boys back at Fishy do. So yeah, we're sort of just working out what we're going to do for the next 8 or 9 races. in regards to setup and yeah, mainly the main thing going forward is basically we'll try and sort of isolate Matty Bowler best way possible. So we're going to try and work out what we're doing there.
Wow, are you guys trying to circle the pond like the fishy boys, are you?
Pretty much. Just throw a few spears in there and see what happens.
Montreal is a very hard place to pass, and we've got a lot of F1 tracks coming up. And to be P2 and P3 after round one is a pretty good start.
Yeah, absolutely. Teams Championship's looking pretty swell, but yeah, drivers we've got to try and nail it out. So not knocking the result by any means necessary, but yeah, just it's obviously room for improvement somewhere along the line. But I'm wrapped for Barbs, and he kept it super clean. There's just an absolute cluster for me tonight. So hopefully got rid of all the crappy bloody niggles in the first race, and next 8-9 races should be smooth.
Very nice.
Absolutely legendary. Cool. So I'll do a bit of a wrap up for us tonight. So thank you so much, everybody out there in viewer land, in YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch land. Everybody out there for our supporters, thank you very much for coming out and watching us and being part of tonight's round 3 super show. So season 3 round 1 super show for our Thursday night super show. Finishing with our GT3 Porsches. It's been an amazing night. Thank you very, very much to DSL Welding Services for all your massive support, Pagny and Advanced Simulations, and also our promo department. Thank you so much for all your support and everything else. And also, big shout out to the BC boys and the SRW team also, just out there, just trying to push hard and just trying to change the face of sim racing out there and trying to bring it to you every night of the week as much as we can. So thank you so much, Mr. Jamie Dye, for jumping on the comms here as well, man. It's been awesome with you tonight, bro.
No worries, man. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. And also with my illustrious head producer, Mr. Shibby Howard, one of my big mentors in not only life but also in the whole computering and whatever, however you call it, in sim racing and stuff like that, with all the producing thing and stuff like that. So a big thank you goes out to him as well. And from myself, much love and keep safe to all you legends, and we shall see you tomorrow night for our awesomeness and for our next few nights also as well. And I shall be on comms as of Monday night, I think, once again. So big shout out to everybody once again, and much love.